Hello, welcome. Before we get going, let me just say,
Slap it on.
always start the day with a TED. An egg, go to work on an egg and a TED. There you go, fantastic. Hello everyone, welcome. It is Thursday? Wednesday, Friday. A Thursday, and it's some time or other. I've got no idea, it's all weird. Yes, welcome. It's an afternoon stuck at the bench stream. I'm still working on this. I've not got it finished, so I thought I might as well carry on. Do another stream while you're here. So welcome. If you've not seen one of my streams before, what am I talking about? You've all seen one of my streams. I'm going to try and do some work. While you guys hang out in chat and have a jolly good time. Because we're all basically locked down because the world's on fire, this is just more of a chance for you guys to hang out in the chat. I've got the chat here, but this is more just a chance for you guys to hang out with your friends in the chat. It doesn't really matter what I'm doing. I'm just in the background making noises. That's kind of it, really. But it's also a chance for me to hang out with you guys because I'm stuck at home as well, and I'm longing for human contact, but you guys will do, so you're close enough. Sorry, only joking. So yes, welcome to one of my streams. As always, I've got the chat right here, so if you want to grab my attention, please do put comments in the chat. Make sure you put them in big fat capital letters, or if you want to, you can use the super chat, which puts it in a coloured box and puts an animation up here so I can't miss it. Massive thank you, first of all, as always, to the people that make this channel possible. First and foremost, my lovely fluffy patrons, my Patreon supporters, patreon.com/modelmakingguru. They pay my wages effectively, and they make this channel possible. They keep the lights on, they keep food on my table, keep the wolf from the door, even though the wolf is on the other side of the door as well, because that's me. But yes, massive thank you to all my patrons, and the 3 new patrons that I took on the other day, after the other day's stream, so massive thank you to them as well. So welcome to all of them, and thank you massively. Don't forget, of course, I'm also supported by 2 retail stores. Now, both of them are temporarily out of service for the CHOCOLATE VELOCIRAPTOR pandamoomin. I have to really say that really carefully. But of course, I'm supported by emodels.co.uk, your one-stop shop for your model making needs. And of course, Goblin Gaming, which is the emodels version of tabletop stuff. So your tabletop, your Games Workshop, Malifaux, and Conflict 47. And I just said Malifaux. Every time I say Malifaux, I say Malifaux. Yeah, so there's links for those 2 in the description below the video, so do go and check them out on all my Amazon stores as well. But massive thank you to all those 3 little tranches. And before we get going, massive thank you to everybody who supported me on the stream the other day with their super chats and stuff. You guys are all insane, and I love you to bits. You managed to raise, for me, from a little old me, you managed to raise £1,000, and that's insane, and I can't thank everybody enough. So big, massive thank you. That will pay my bills, it will pay for my MOT in September, assuming I can even get the car MOT. It'll pay my tax bill next year. It'll put, if it'll even get food, it'll buy food and stuff. So thank you massively. I can't thank you all enough. And of course, Gutham's here. And somebody mentioned this. Yes, there is a Stabity related injury. Bizarrely, on Saturday, I discovered I had a small cut to this finger, and I don't know where it came from. It just appeared, and that was really painful. And then the day after that, I discovered I had a small cut on this finger just there. And again, I've got no idea where I hadn't done any cutty. And then, and that was really annoying. But then yesterday, I was cutting some onions and went snop. And yeah, so I put, it's only a little tiny cut, but this is more padding to keep the skin from flapping so it hurts. It's a bit painful and throbby, but it's fine. It's not a model making Stabity. So yes. So I'll quickly whiz through chat and have a look and see who's in. And then we'll crack on. Now, if you are watching this stream, I've got the chat here. If you're thinking to yourself, what's the chat? On YouTube, they have a live chat section where you can hang out with your mates. If you're watching this on YouTube but you can't see the live chat, then if you're on a mobile device like a tablet or a phone, scroll down. It might be under the video. Or if you're using the YouTube app, then perhaps use the YouTube website instead, not that. You go to your browser. That way you might have the live chat. But if you're watching this embedded somewhere like Patreon or Twitter or Facebook, then all you need to do is click the YouTube icon that's down here in the bottom right under all the video stuff down here. Ooh. Oh, I thought I'd spilled my coffee then. I got my finger caught in the coffee cup. Oh, it's down here somewhere near all the play buttons and stuff. Click on that, the YouTube icon. It'll take you to the YouTube page where you'll be able to join in the live chat. And do join in because, like I say, this is for you guys. It's a place for you guys to hang out. Yeah, I thought I'd spilled my coffee then. I got my finger in the mug like, oh. I had that moment where all your organs just shut down briefly. Yeah. Anyway, let's have a quick look and see. I can't go back all the way to the very beginning when I set the stream up, but Chris at Gross Models and Dad were two of the first people in the chat, so welcome to those two. Chris at Gross Models, Dad, of course, at Scaly Models, and Paul at Team Inept, or he might be glued. Is he glued to the sprue? No, he's signed in as Team Inept. Those three are in at the moment. They are three of your mods. They are lovely and fluffy, and they'll keep you safe in the chat, but if you cross them, they'll drive over you with the world's biggest road roller, and then they'll burn you in fire. So don't cross them, but they will look after you. They'll be really nice. We have Andy McLeish is in. Welcome, Andy. And Quano Man, Tomcat181. Another live stream, and it's early. Hearts, hearts. Yes. Let's have a look. Pascal Leverse is in. He wasn't the first person in, so he's slacking. Dear me. You're slacking, Pascal. Christopher C. Hello, all. Welcome, Christopher C. Welcome, welcome. We have... 2 nights ago was great. Makes me love this community, says Tomcat. And it makes me love my community too. All of you in the community. Lynn Dibble, bugger, and I'm about to go to work amongst this nasty thing at the hospital. Have fun, my friends, and wash your damn hands. Hi, Lynn. Bye, Lynn. Hey, Spud. Thank you very much for your help the other night. And yes, have a good day at work, hopefully. Take it easy and stay safe. Raging Bassist is in. Welcome, Raging Bassist. Andy McLeish, we've said. Andy McLeish is calling Dad Papa Duke because we're on the stream last night and Dad's growing a bit of a beard action going on. Jamie Bone is in. Hi, everyone. Hi, Jamie. Agdemonic. Hello, guys. Welcome, Agdemonic. I don't think you've been in chat before, so welcome. We have Aries Styrene. What's up, you crazy modelling freaks of styrene? Welcome, Aries. Nat Williamson is in. Welcome, Nat. Hello, hello, hello. Is Lewis in as well? We'll find out. Nim is in. Welcome, Nim. Hey, Nim. You were here last night. You're here this morning. We're with you all the time. You can't get away from us, really, basically. Do let me know, by the way, if the audio and video is all right. I'm always tweaking it, so let me know if it all sounds okay. Carl knows the joke, basically, because Carl at Making Models has come in. Hey, Carl, and just says, the first thing he says, did someone say stickers? It's an old joke that Carl had this unerring habit of tuning into like the eModels live stream just before we had the giveaways. He used to, hi everyone, it was just before we were about to do the giveaways, so we always make this joke that he only comes in when we're doing giveaways. Welcome, Carl. How you doing, buddy? Aries Styrene. Okay, back, and why did I hear the Canadian National Anthem? I've kind of taken that as my own little anthem because it's such a wonderful piece of music. One of my favourite tunes, and it's awesome, and also Canadia's awesome anyway. So I've adopted it as my second. I've got a theme tune, but it's my other theme tune. If you were left-handed, you'd have been fine. No, because I would have done that, wouldn't I? I was chopping some onions and I had my finger there and the knife went eh. It didn't go in very deep, but it's got that little flap of skin now that's like that, and every time there's not a plaster on it, it flaps about and it's painful, so I'm like, oh. Sean Wiles is in. Welcome, Sean. John Kenwood is in as well. Welcome, John. Where's Dave? I miss Dave, says Paul at Team Inept. Sean Wiles, just finished homeschooling the daughter. I learned what vertices are today. They were just points when I was at school. Yeah, they've come a long way then. Wait till you get onto polygons. This is the funny thing. Like, a lot of you out there, I don't have kids, thankfully. I don't have kids, but there's a lot of you out there now having to do homeschooling for your kids who are stuck at home, obviously. And it's quite amusing listening to some of you. It's basically saying, I'm homeschooling the kids and I'm learning more than they are. Because so many of us are old and we don't know what the hell kids learn nowadays. I wonder how many kids now are actually learning stuff that's proper old school stuff that you don't learn anymore. That they wouldn't normally learn at school because they're too busy learning social empathy and everyone's a winner nonsense and participation awards and stuff. Whereas I wonder if people are teaching them, like, fractions. This is fractions. We're doing fractions. Sit down, shut up, fractions. Just deal with it. Life's not fun, and I'm going to start by teaching you fractions so you can learn how difficult life is. Because when you go to work, life stops being fun. So we're going to get into that mood today by teaching you long division and fractions. Bam, there you go. The world's a bad place. Been sat here for 5 hours on live chat and had no one, says Andy McLeish. Well, now you go. Making models. It's getting bad and I need to go back to work. I actually washed the car. It's bad, real bad. Oh, if you've washed the car, then yes, that is bad. Aries says, I'd like to thank you for answering my question about the diorama that was last night. Now after colour modulation and doing a subject no one is doing. Yes. Is it going to be the Russian police in Syria? I don't know what that means. So that's up to date with chat, strange enough. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. There's 31 of you watching, but there's not 31 of you in chat. So if you are watching, do come and join the live chat. Now, yes, we are carrying on with the... I'm doing that because I can't remember what they're called. It's the Magnavent... It's on this bit of paper here. Magnavent Walkway. Yes, it's the final 2 issues of the Warhammer Conquest partwork. I'm doing the Warhammer Conquest partwork. This is the final 2 issues. I've not got to the end yet. I just received these the other day, so I thought I'd build them for fun. So it's the final 2 issues of the Warhammer Conquest partwork, where you build this Magnavent Walkway. And then if I get time, I will go back and build issue 55, which was the Alchomite Pipes, which go in the middle. I've got them over there. I don't think I'll get this finished today, but you never know. So I thought, just for fun, while we're all stuck at home and I do some streaming content, I should be working on the Millennium Falcon, but because of stability and all my fingers, it's quite hard to do fiddly tiny things, so I'm leaving that for the moment. I thought I'd get this done and give you guys some live streaming content. And also, when I'm doing normal recordings, of course, you guys are just sitting there twiddling your thumbs waiting for it, so I thought live streams are a bit easier, and they're a bit more fun, and you guys can join in. So, yes, the Falcon's not on hold, but I've just put it to one side while I'm doing live stream nonsense. I am in chat, says Gross Models. Good girl. Raging Basis says, get in chat, you slags. If you didn't watch it last night, we had one of the Boom Hut. Oh, that's the other thing. If you missed it last night, the Model Makers Boom Hut modcast. If you don't know what the Boom Hut is, I do run a Facebook group. I'll put it in chat. It'll pop up in chat now. Called the Model Makers Boom Hut. It's a really safe space. There's 4,000 people just almost in there. It's a really safe space. It's no bitching, no snarking, no rivet counting is allowed. If that happens, we kick people out for doing that. It's where you can safely share your work and get proper constructive feedback and criticism, rather than people just going, well, crap, that is. They'll actually say, I can see what you've done, it's really good, but have you thought about? Criticism like that. Criticism as in constructive criticism. We encourage that and we don't encourage snark. So if you're not joined it already, go and join it. If you can't click in the chat, then it's just simply facebook.com/groups/model boom hut. We did a modcast last night, which is a live stream with all the moderators, and yeah, we made use of Colin's London accent. He's like, oh, you slags. It's great. We love it. We love Colin. Daniel Rigby, ew, hang on. Should I say this out loud in case he's on a conference call? He says, I can't chat as this is on the background while I'm at work from home. But hello, everyone. Welcome, Daniel. Keep working. Work harder. Work harder. On the big TV here also, those lazy bums are still sleeping. I'm Spartacus, says Sean Wild. Also, you're on the big telly, so I may be watching twice, says Chris. Chocolatey sprue goodness, yes. Standard Games Workshop chocolate scenery. I really want chocolate now. Did I miss the stability? No, this was done chopping onions last night. If you looked carefully last night, if you watched the modcast, you would have seen the plaster on the finger as well. Darren 2159 says, hello everybody. Welcome, Darren. Welcome. Nim says, he's on my TV too. Nim, what did you have for your dinner last night? Because you weren't sure when we spoke during the stream. You hadn't decided. What did you have? And as always, Dad, if you could ask the question, please. Very kind. Right, so we're going to finish building this hopefully today. There's not a lot to do now. We've got the seamy underbelly done. It looks really good until you look underneath and it's kind of bare bones basic. But we've got some tubes and some chains. We're going to put some of the little sort of walkways and stuff on there. This scenery is really good. It's like modular, so you could build this in a different shape if you wanted to. I've just built it like it says in the magazine. But you could, if you wanted to, build this in a completely different shape. The idea is that you can buy these packs of scenery, and there's loads of different sort of Sector Mechanicus scenery, and they're all done in the same unit, so like blocks this big. They're all technically blocks that big, and there's like 2 of those or 3 of those or 2 in a corner, and they're all kind of in units of that square. So you can buy all the different Sector Mechanicus scenery and just glom it all together, and if you've got a play table for your games, that's what you do. Right, so I'm going to put this to one side because it's big and dangly and gets in the way. I'll put that there. I'll give you a quick
slap it on,
because you're good and you deserve it, so I gave you that. Wait, Cy Reynolds is in. Welcome, Cy Reynolds. He says, hola, lads and ladies. Then he says, oh, I've gone a bit moist now. He says, bench, KFC, belly, KFC. All I've thought about for the last 5 weeks is goddamn KFC. Oh, and I couldn't get any. but of course they don't deliver. Our KFC doesn't deliver. And I would be potentially tempted to go to my local KFC and get some, but they don't. I don't know. I can't risk it for Mama Fox. I could go to the drive-thru, but I'll probably still just, no. So I have to wait. Yeah, so we've just got a couple of sprues left now, and this is just all the little twiddly sort of railings and things that we need to put on them. Little computer terminal screens. And then we're done. So Reynolds says, we are lucky one of the 20 or so in the country to open to deliver. God darn it. Not amused at all, because I can't do that, and everything's just rubbish now. Stream's cancelled. I'm going to go off and sulk about not having KFC. Tomcat181 says, are you going to paint it model making guru? Absolutely. If you don't know what this is an 80 issue part work. The Warhammer Conquest is a part work. Over about a year and a half, we've received 80 magazines, and with each magazine is a different set of models that allows you to build up both a Space Marine army, a Death Guard army, and a load of chunks of scenery. Now, this has all been made possible by my very good friend and patron George, who hasn't been around for a little while because he's not very well at the minute, bless him. So take care, George. Get better soon, matey. But he's basically funded a lot of this. And as a result, I've got these bits that I don't know what they're for. Interesting, we'll find out. As a result, what's going to happen is we're going to split it. So once I've got all the magazines done, over the coming months on Warhammer Sunday live streams, I'm building up all the models, just getting them built because they're easier to store when they're built rather than all on sprues. And then over the coming year, maybe year and a half, I'm going to get everything painted up, but they'll all be done as build series. They'll be filmed. So it's going to take me a long time to paint everything because there's like massive loads of Space Marines and massive loads of Death Guard. Death Guard are quite fiddly to paint. But yes, they'll all be getting painted up, and they'll all get full build series as well. So it'll be like how to paint a Space Marine, how I paint a Death Guard dude, how I paint this, that, and the other. So there'll be loads and loads of videos, but it's going to take a long time. And I'll probably leave the scenery to last. Because they're quite big. Yes, it will all get painted. The focus for the moment is just getting stuff built. And the only reason I'm building this now, because in the rest of the build, I'm only up to about issue 64, I think, building-wise. I just thought these were the last 2 issues, and they came the other day. And I normally film a little video saying, here's what you get in issue this, that, and the other. But I thought it'd just be easy to do a live stream. So I did a live stream. I thought I'd better finish it. But yes, this was the last 2. So if you are subscribed to this or any other Hachette part work, they are still delivering, despite the chocolate Velociraptor pandamoomin. They are still delivering. So, and I know Dad has just received his Silver Templars box set. So yes, don't panic. You will get your deliveries. And I have also today just received, talking of part works, I have also received today the next 3 issues of the D'Agostini's Build Your Own X-Wing. So if you subscribe to a D'Agostini part work, like the X-Wing or the Falcon or something like that, then they are also still delivering. But I did get a letter with it, which I'll read you in a moment, which is not Hachette, but it is, if you've got a D'Agostini part work underway, it'll be interesting for you. I'll just get all these bits snipped off of the sprues, and I'll have a quick look at chat. But how is everybody? I hope you're all well. I hope you're all safe and sound. I hope you're all surviving. Those of you who aren't able to work or go to work, I hope you're able to work from home. If you're not able to work from home and you're currently furloughed, then do take care, my friends. I hope you manage to sort yourself out for the monies and stuff. That's why I'm doing these streams, really. You know, me, Chris, even Dad's been doing streams, and loads of other guys, we're all doing these streams more than we normally would, because normally I just do the Saturday and Sunday stream, and that's it. But because everybody's stuck at home now, a lot of us are stuck at home, a lot more of us are stuck at home, it can get quite boring, it can get quite lonely, so I figured, let's do more streams. It just gives you a place to go and people to hang out within the chat. That's my entire purpose, because I know I've done it. I've over the last few weeks, I've sat there and suddenly found myself spending all day sitting in front of the internet, doing random Google searches for things I happen to fall over on the internet, or just sitting there eating junk and crisps watching endless episodes of things on, you know, Amazon Prime. And it's very easy to fall into that because it's boredom. And it's, you know, isolation. So I thought, let's do some live streams. And, you know, Chris has done the same. Chris has been doing a load of his gaming streams on the Team Inept channel. He's also been doing some little wood builds. Wooden Wednesday, he calls it. And he's got his Terminator build and all the other bits and bobs. So he's been doing more. Yeah, even Dad's been doing live streams. So it's just another way of the community coming together, really. I've got these bits left on there, but I don't think if they're not used, these are like little bracing parts that go underneath the walkway to brace it. If they're not used, I might use them just to reinforce the walkway even more. I think because the idea is that these will then, because these are modular, these will attach to other pieces of scenery, so I could use these to link them all together. I'll keep them on the sprue for now. I'll put the sprues over there. Now, very quickly, before we get going, let me read to you. Let me read the words. Where is it? There we go. Yes, if you are subscribed to the D'Agostini Build Your Own X-Wing, they include a letter with the latest delivery, and I assume this will apply to any of their partwork. So if you've got a D'Agostini partwork, I say the only ones I know of are this and the Falcon. There's other ones they do as well, but I've forgotten what they all are. They do say, "Dear subscriber, we are experiencing some production delays beyond our control on Build Your Own X-Wing. In order to keep your deliveries on schedule, we'll be amend your next 2 deliveries to 3 issues per dispatch." This is specific to the X-Wing, because they're going to do 5 issues every 5 weeks. Now we're getting 3 issues per 5 weeks. The amount you are charged will be adjusted accordingly. We aim to return to the regular 5 issues per delivery thereafter, but will advise you of any further changes to the publication frequency for this title. We hope this doesn't affect your continued enjoyment, yada yada yada. So they don't mention the Chocolate Velociraptor. But what they're saying is basically, instead of sending you 5 issues every 5 weeks, we'll send you 3 issues every 5 weeks, which is great for me because it's less for me to film. But I don't know if that will affect other of their partworks. I don't know the frequencies they send out other partworks. So just keep that in mind. If you have got a subscription, it's maybe not that one. You will get less and possibly less frequently, but I'm sure they'll still get it out to you. Now we'll have a quick swig of the coffee. Nom. Some good news as well. I am happy to report that we are on our last carton of skimmed milk, and as soon as that's emptied, we're back onto the regular semi-skimmed. Yes, and coffee will stop tasting like ass. Yes, yes. Skimmed milk. Right, what's chat doing very quickly? Because I asked Bench and Belly, or hopefully Dad asked Bench and Belly. Did Dad ask the question? Dad, did you ask the question? Let me find Dad asking the... He didn't ask the question, did he? Did he? No. Did Dad ask the question? Anyway, he probably has, but in case I've missed it, the question is, of course, Bench and Belly. What's on your bench? What are you working on? And what's in your belly? As in, what have you had for your dinner, or what are you going to have for your dinner? Let's have a look. French ants jelly, says Chris at Gross Models. He's gone Dutch on us. Right, so. No Lewis at the moment, says Nat. He's hoping to jump in for a bit when he gets to Sittingbourne. Everyone should watch me when they get to Sittingbourne. It's the law. If you look at their promotional brochure, it says, Sittingbourne, right now, please don't visit. But when you do visit, watch Fox. Team Inept says you are not permitted to take part in Bench and Belly to Cy Reynolds because he's got KFC. And also Chris at Gross Model says, and damn it. Yeah, I don't know why. Damn it, Kevin, says Chris. Yes, everybody now hates Cy because he's got KFC. Oh, I'm thinking about KFC. I'm drooling everywhere. Oh, KFC. I wish they'd do just a big bucket of drumsticks. I'd just be the fattest man in the world. Andy McLeish says, hey, Captain Squig, to Andy McLeish. I'm eating it, thinking of all you lads, says Cy Reynolds. You can just shut up, don't talk about it. Maybe Dad hasn't asked the question. Oh, Dad says I'm back. Dad, ask Simon what he's having for lunch. Raging Bassist says, I've been picking up the odd Mortal Realms. I got one with some cracking scenery, but it's not all in one issue, so I have to wait for the rest. Yeah, the Mortal Realms one, if you don't know, is the Age of Sigmar version of this. This is Warhammer 40k. I'm not really into Age of Sigmar, and I don't think the Night Hunt models are that interesting. But I've got to say, it looks like a bit more of an even more bargain than this stuff, because some of the extras you get are all brilliant. They're all plastic kits rather than gameplay related stuff. I might get it eventually. I might subscribe to it. I mean, I've got to get all this. I've got billions of these things to build and paint over the next couple of years first, but in the future I might do that one as well. Bench the work, says Andy McLeish. Bench the work laptop, says Andy. Belly, sausage and bacon sarnie. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Bench, says Jamie. Pig models 1:1 scale tiger, 88mm tank. Yep, still working on that. Belly, family sized pack of mini rolls and shortbread. Oh, I'm having some of that. At least it's not wimpy, says bassist. You'll be less amused later when you see the pictures Simon has posted in chat. Banned. Dad says, I'm back, and Team Inept says, wow, that was a big poo. Oh dear. Where are we? Dad says, Simon, what are you doing to me? KFC and gravy, sobs. Yeah. Not only does he live like 3 yards from Warhammer World, he also has KFC delivered. I'm in the wrong damn part of the country. God damn it. Tomcat says, I'm getting yelled at for the perfect grade Zaku too, but I'm doing good. Don't know why you're getting yelled at for a PG Zaku, but I could never yell at a perfect grade Zaku. People are talking about KFC now. Tomcat says, do you all have the $5 fill-up over here, because we're in the UK, with the corn, gravy, popcorn, chicken and such? We probably have something like that. I must admit, whenever I go into KFC, because I've only started going to KFC over the last few years. We're talking about it now, aren't we? Yes. God damn it. I walk in and look at all the menu, and I don't understand, because I like chicken legs and I like boneless breasts, but I don't like pieces of chicken that you've got to pull apart and manhandle and get off the bone, and you get like half a chicken. It's like, no, I just want a boneless thing that I can go nom 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 nom, or a chicken drumstick where I can go nom 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 and there's a bone, or the hot wings which I can go nom 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 and there's a bone. But they just have, like, they often say you get a Coke, you get a drink, you get fries, you get a side, and you get a chicken piece. And I'm like, what's a piece? Is that the leg? Is it a breast? Is it the butt? Is it the lips? I don't know. And I never quite know, so I just want them. I just wish they did a bucket of drumsticks. I'd be the happiest pig in poop if there was a. Can I just have a massive bucket made of all your drumsticks, please? But they don't. They seem to be like, can I just get loads of drumsticks? Oh, I don't know. Don't know how many we've got. Well, hang on. You should have, well, 2 per chicken will be normal. I don't know why they're so prissy about drumsticks. I just want drumsticks. 3 more X-Wings on the way to me too, says Chris at Gross Models, and the Stormtrooper partwork. Power bank even. Ooh. Well, I've received 3 more issues, but I haven't received any of the premium stuff like the pilots and vehicles, so I don't think I'm on the premium package. I think I'm on the regular Joe package. Tomcat says, Gross Models Bandai. No, he's talking about the D'Agostini partwork. Build your own X-Wing partwork. Where are we? Raging Basis says, Bench 12 dice man. He's painting his little, is it Reaper Bones? I think, do the little dice characters. He's painting one of those. And getting drizzed ready, just picking up the paints. Getting a belly, a big fat dirt, sausage, bacon, and egg butter. Yes. Wait till you see Messenger once you've done with the stream, Fox. I don't like you anymore. I don't like you anymore. No matter what you've done the last couple of days, which is awesome, I don't like you anymore. Darren says, Bench, finishing touches on my NPC Eagle belly, just a pasty so far. A pasty is just the first step on a dietary happiness moment. And yes, I hope you're enjoying that Eagle, because it's an awesome kit. Christopher C, Bench Armored D9R. Belly, shredded beef tamale, ground beef enchilada with white cheese sauce and double rice. That all sounds fantastic. I need all of that in my face. Philip Buck is in. Hi guys. Bacon butty, bench clear. Wait for my next big box of stuff from E-Models. Yes. Gemma is getting cross. You're talking about KFC. Can you stop, please? Says Chris at Gross Models. And then Sai says, oh crap, you know he won't see that for 10 minutes. Yeah. And he's off on one. Yeah. You have to blame it completely on Simon, though. It's entirely his fault. Tomcat says, I bought the perfect grade Zaku because I started watching your videos, model making. Yeah, I never finished it either. There was a good reason, but moving on. She's also unhappy with you, Simon, says Chris. Yes. Styrene, Aries Styrene says, Bench, still the Trumpeter M117 Guardian, and if you have to know, what will be for dinner is going to be barbecue New York sirloin with baked potato and grilled asparagus. I need all of that. Gemma, I'm sorry, but remember Chris is to blame, says Si. Yeah, it's true. Nim Cinderin says, how dare you say that about my city's crowning food achievement? Well, what does he say? Hot wings are a waste of food. No, I like the KFC hot wings. Sorry, Skate, sorry. Damn it. Quanoman, Bench, left mandible of the 172nd scale Falcon. Lots of big boy Rudy words to go with the little pipes. Belly not KFC. Considering hiring an assassin. Yes. Up to date with the chat, but I want to. But for dinner for me, obviously I'm working on this, but for dinner, tonight we are having paella. We've got I need to clear some space in the freezer, and we've got like a big stick it in the oven paella. It's only small, but me and Mama Fox are going to share it, and I'll probably add some extra rice to it. I've got some little, what are those little bread pouches called? Anyway, I've got some of them little things. I'm going to warm them up, and then I'll probably, I'll put something. We've got some little various meats and things that I can heat up and chop up and put in the paella. So we'll have that tonight. Nom meats and chicken and prawns and things and rice and bits. Right, so I've got to clean all these up now. So let's get these all cleaned up. So I've got them off the sprue. Time to go with my decent nippers. Little bread pouches. I can't remember what they're called. The words escaped me. What are they called? I'm still Kermit flailing from Monday, so shut up. Tuesday, even. Right, now I'm going to try and not get my head in shot all day today. Because I watched that stream back and it was basically this. Yeah, I need to not do that. Bring it, Quano. I'll offer them. Someone will bend it to my will, says Cy Reynolds. P.S. Your Falcon is looking awesome. It is. I've not got very far on my Falcon. Still filming episode 2. Like I say, it's sometimes it's a choice between doing a live stream to give you guys stuff to hang out with, and doing filming, which is I just go off and film and you guys don't see anything for 2 weeks. And right now I think streams is probably a good idea. That's that one. Little bread pouches. What are they called? They're not. I can't remember if it's a Mexican word or an Indian word, or I can't remember. They came with the Morrison's box. Little things. And they're already 5 days out of date, but I figured they've been in the fridge, so I figure I'll stick them in the microwave or under the grill for a minute. They'll be fine. I won't die particularly too much, I don't think. Pita bread, that's the one. I couldn't think of the word. Little things about that big they are. Little pita breads. So we'll get them warmed up in the oven. They're about 5 days out of date, but it's just the best before date. They've been in the fridge since we got them, so I'm sure I won't die of too much. Buns. No, not buns. No, pita bread is the word I was looking for. Little pitas. Little tiny pitas. That's that one. Damn it, why couldn't you all give him made up words instead, says Paul at Team Inept. Because it's too early in the day for them to be getting into shenanigans without proper planning. It's normally the evening streams where things go a bit awry, which is why Chris always suffers the consequences of evening streams and silliness. Belly will be southern fried chicken, more than likely with straight chips, says Nat Williamson. Bench working on the last half of my hedgehog's head. I love the sound of that. Are you... I can't remember because I've not been in the boom hut properly for a few days. Are you putting pictures in the boom hut so we can see your hedgehog? I hope you are. I've not had a chance to really catch up in the boom hut. But make sure you are putting pictures in the boom hut for all to see. Because hedgehogs are awesome. Yeah, Paul says, why do you give him made up words? Do I have to do everything around here? Half a hedgehog, says Chris at Grace Models. Not Googling assassins what don't got mouths. Says Chrono Man. I don't. I'm not getting further involved in that conversation. I don't think it would be wise. It would not be wise. Not really many nubs that are left on here to get rid of. Paul Di Tommaso is in. Welcome, Paul. How you feeling, buddy? Maybe a bit more bright and sparkly today, I hope. Matt Williamson, I was thinking about it, Fox. I'll get some taken and put it up. Yes, you have to, because the boom hut's not just about model making, you know. It's any kind of making. I say it regularly, but, you know, we have a glass blower in there. We've got a puppet maker, a couple of puppet makers. They don't post up very often, but they are there. And I know it's the model maker's boom hut, but it's really just the maker's boom hut. Plus the hedgehogs, so instant free pass. Si Reynolds is sending an assassin amoeba. I am an amoeba. I like the word amoeba. Amoeboid. Amoebas are awesome. Unless you get one in your brain, in which case you're dead. But amoebas are still awesome. How are we doing, folks? Am I head in shot all the time? Am I not in shot? Do let me know. I've got no idea. I don't have the Duncan tennis ball hanging on a piece of string, unfortunately. So people who've worked at Warhammer at Games Workshop will know what I mean by that. Unfortunately, it doesn't mean I've got to keep my head about a mile away. But never mind. Oh, Frankie Goes to Hobbywood. You'll see it in a minute when it pops up here. Frankie Goes to Hobbywood, €25. Frankie, thank you. I would have been in the Epic Stream Night for Fox if my Super Chat thing would have been working. I think I found out what was wrong with it. Frankie, thank you massively, my friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's very, very kind of you. There should be a pop-up around about... Oh, I was trying to show off then. Oh! If that had actually popped up when I pointed, I would have just been the cool kid on the block. Thank you very, very much, Frankie. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I really do. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, I got up the next day after the other day. If you don't know, basically we did a stream on Tuesday and like everybody just went a bit nuts and put super chats in left, right, and centre and still silly amounts, and I got a grand out of it. You gave me a grand at the end of it, which will pay for bills and food and stuff. Because this is what I do for a living, so I was completely overwhelmed with the kindness and the generosity and the silliness. And like the next day, I got up and my brain was still basically in a Kermit Flail mode. It really was Kermit Flail mode. I'm like, so yes, that was an outstanding night. So Frankie, thank you very much. Wieland Dank, my friend, Wieland Dank. You beautiful, beautiful person. You're all beautiful people. And bless him, Simon. Your very good friend Simon, who is not eating any delicious foods right now. Dad, thank you very much. Another one from Dad. Dad, £10. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Big hugs. Big hug, Dad, to keep the beard going. I always said that Dad looked great with a beard. Nothing to do with that £10 he's just put in, but massive thank you, Dad. Andy McLean says, crap, it's happened again. Thank you, Dad. Yes, Simon, bless his cotton socks. Simon, who is just an awesome dude. When I totted it all up the next day, it was 868 quid or something like that. Because obviously there's conversion rates from there was Canadian, Kanukistan dollars, and there was like Australian dollars and stuff in there. It came to about 868 quid. And Simon was like, "Oh, I thought it was a grand." 2 minutes later, PayPal, bing, there you go. And I'm like, Simon, what are you doing? Bless him. He couldn't. He was OCDing because it wasn't a grand, so he topped it up. So massive thank you to Simon as well. But all of you are brilliant. There were big donations. There was people putting dollars in, single pounds. But you know what? It's all beautiful. Very much. That's what my bill's paid for now. Very nicely. I'm not going to waste that money. I'm not going to squander it and go out. I mean, the good thing is I can't accidentally now go onto the Games Workshop website and spend it all on nonsense. Yeah, I can't do that. So it'll come in handy. Very handy. Lol says Nim, here we go, says Tom Cap. Dad says haha, let the multiple super chats begin. Google has let me down, no me, but Assassin's time to build a robot army, says Quanomar. Yes. Build an army of tactical droids. That's the correct way to go. Cy Reynolds says, I has found my wallet. No, just don't go crazy. Oh no, not again. It sounds weird to hear me saying no, don't do that, but yes, it's nonsense. I'm not doing it for these reasons. Oh. Right, so here we go again. We've got lots of, because it's scenery, of course, it's got the mould lines all around the edge. If you didn't watch that big long show the other day, hey Phil Lewis, welcome buddy. If you didn't watch that big long show, one of the things I showed you was why you really need to get one of these. And I'll find a simple piece to show you. So if you did miss that show, let me show you why you need one of these. Traditionally, imagine this was a big thick piece. It's got a big mould line right round the edge. Traditionally, you do it with your modelling knife and you'd file it and you'd sand it, and it'd take you a few minutes. Let me use just this tool, and we'll get rid of the mould line and the nubs. You ready? See how long it takes. Do 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 do. Diddly bomber, diddly bomber. A diddly bomb, a diddly bomb. Super match game bomb. And we'll do smooth it off a little bit, just a little tiny touch. And bam, mould line removed. How fast was that? The beauty of these is it's a big thick steel blade that doesn't flex very easily at all. It's not sharp. You can't do stabity with it, but it's a big thick steel blade that you put on and it just smooths it flat, but it keeps it flat. Raging Bassist, thank you very, very, very much. Because I can, mister, I can stab myself with a spoon, says Raging Bassist. And that came up at the same time that this came on. There's like a 30-second delay. That's weird. But thank you very much, Raging Bassist. That's very kind of you. You're a very nice man. I always said it's not true what they say about you. I always said I liked you. Yeah, because it is a solid blade and doesn't bend, it keeps it nice and flat, so you don't end up with a curved surface like with a sanding stick or a file. And unlike a blade, it doesn't skitter backwards and forwards and catch on the surface. You see this, you might not be able to see, but there's some recessed panel lines there, and it was catching on those. But a knife would jump and skitter and gouge and scratch. This doesn't, it just goes like that. It's just like a bulldozer. So you keep your nice flat surface, and it ends up with almost no scratch marks. So other than a quick drizz with a sanding sponge, just to smooth it off. Done. Not complicated. It's the best. It's the most invaluable tool you will ever have. If you want the Games Workshop one, it's the Citadel mold line removal tool. Other companies make similar things though. There's loads of these available all over the place, but the key is it's a big, thick, inflexible steel blade. It's not sharp. You can't cut yourself with it. It's just inflexible and rigid. Done. That one's done. It would be something of an achievement if Foxes managed to stabby to himself with the scraper. Yes. That is an achievement unlocked badge. I'm behaving for now, says Simon. I did get a stare from the missus. I'm not surprised with what you just spent the last week. I don't know. Captain Squig, no. Making models, Carl says, what software did you use to make your countdown timer? I use... I need to wipe my nose because I've got a sniffly nose. Got no tissue. Oh, fudge. I have to use kitchen roll. Going to make my nose go red raw now because I'm using kitchen roll to wipe my nose. I use Movavi to edit my video. Movavi. I use Movavi video editor, and one of the overlays they have in there is a completely customizable countdown timer that you can set the to and from time and the size and font and everything. So all I did was sniffly nose. All I did was I'd set a 15-minute countdown timer and adjusted the size and the length of time and the font, and I rendered a video with the pre-roll that you see with the countdown timer over it. So on the screen here, I've got an overlay here like this logo and this stuff. These are all overlays. That's an overlay for the chat. These are overlays in my streaming software, but when you watch the pre-roll video and it's like saying, starting soon, that's just a video of the whole thing. So all the text on there is rendered into the video, and it's just a 15-minute video, but with the countdown time and everything else rendered into it. So whatever software you use for your video editing, it's probably got something similar, or there'll be something you can download for it somewhere. Nim Cinderin says, just bought my first Winsor & Newton 000 brush. Well, it came in today and I can't wait till my day's off to use it. Yeah, I like Winsor & Newton stuff. It's Jolly D. Jolly D. Wait. Equivalent of rolling a 1 and getting the worst option on the fail chart, says Phil Lewis. That's me if I stab myself with the mold line removal tool. Andy McLeish, out of all the Hachette plastic, which one did you like working with the most? You've lost me. What do you mean, love? What do you mean? And the one I loved working with the most was the stuff that wasn't Hachette, that was actually Games Workshop, like the grey silver Templar sprues. Phil Lewis, I've had an interesting afternoon. Started off cutting the lawn, ended up picking up the kitchen ceiling off the floor. Oh dear. Oh dear, is that? And Dad says, is that a burst pipe? Yeah, what happened, dude? That sounds like a burst pipe or bees. That's going to be a burst pipe or bees. One of the two. So do tell. Oh, the blue-green or the chocolate sprues. I hate the chocolate sprues because the scenery and they've got all these mould lines all over them. It's a real pain in the bum. So I really don't like the scenery sprues because they're just tough to get rid of. They're tough to deal with. The plastic in this part, like I've said it through other episodes, is just weird. It's not Games Workshop. Aside from a couple of situations where you've got like the Silver Templars thing, that's clearly an actual Games Workshop sprue because it was grey plastic. If you've made Games Workshop stuff, you'll know that you know what their plastic is like. It's a certain kind of plastic. I'm just sanding these bits because it's easier to get to. It's got a certain quality to it. It's a bit soft and squishy, but not like Airfix plastic. So it's kind of pleasant to it. It's nice and carvable as well if you're carving things and stuff. Nice and carvable, but the plastic in these partworks is made in, I think they're made in Japan, all the sprues, under license, I think, Japan or somewhere. So they're not made in Nottingham at the factory, so it's a slightly different plastic. It's more brittle, but yet more soft, which doesn't really make any sense. And some of the quality has been not quite 100% Games Workshop quality. There's been a few, bits of shoddy moulding, but nothing major. We're not talking like a Revell kit here. They've still been fantastic to work with, but there's just been it's like a percentage point less than Games Workshop quality. I like to be different, says Phil Lewis. The blue plastic put me off, Zanny McLeish. It's all right. It doesn't really matter once it's got painted. Nobody's going to see the blue plastic. It's not as good as Games Workshop plastic, but it's fine. Go and try and make go and get an old Airfix kit. The little sort of £5 for a small 1/72 aircraft you get in like Hobbycraft and stuff. Go get one of them. Then you won't have a problem with the blue plastic. Right, we found out what's happening with. There we go. Been complaining to the council about the ceiling for years. It just decided to let go today. Oh, I hope you're all right, mate. I hope nobody was injured or anything. And of all the time to have people coming round to work on your house, now is not the best time. It's like right now we've got a really old boiler. And it's had a lot of work done to it, but of course all through the winter we've had the heating on when it was cold, and we turned it off. The first nice day we turned it off, but we've discovered it's a weird thing. There's obviously one of the backflow valves has gone in the boiler somewhere, because when you turn the heating off, you just turn because you've got the thing on the wall, turn it off or on or timed. Turn it off there. Normally it just goes off, and the boiler just keeps itself warm to keep the hot water system warm. But all the radiators go off. But what's happening now is you turn it off at the wall, and the radiators stay warm. And I think what's basically happened is there's obviously a valve somewhere has given and gone, and the boiler is seeing the radiators as part of the hot water system. So if we're telling the boiler, turn the central heating off, but keep the hot water, because we might need hot water, so it like just heats itself up on the tank every now and then. It's seeing, I think, the radiators as part of the hot water tank system. So every time it does a little burble and to warm up the water that you might need, it includes the radiators, so the radiators stay a bit warm, even when the boiler's turned off, the heating's turned off. Which is fine right now, but when it comes to proper summertime, we're just going to have to physically turn the boiler off, so that there's nothing, but that means there's no hot water, which is then a pain, so you have to turn the boiler on to get hot water. So it's like, but it's a pain in the bum, but at the same time it's not really going to get me to go and get a man to come and fix it, because we can't do that right now. We're in isolation, so having a little man come round and fix it would not be a good idea. Weird though. But it's a bit of a pain, but it's fine. At least we've got heating if we need, and hot water and so on. Yeah, so I hope nobody was hurt and hope everybody's okay there, dude. So I've got the photos. The guy's just been but can't make it safe as it's a textured ceiling. Or is it like Artex and stuff? Oh yeah, that stuff weighs a ton. If it's Artex ceiling, it's probably the weight of the Artex that's pulled it down after all the years. It's a relic of the before times. So that's Artex then, isn't it, basically? Mostly in the corner above the combi boiler. I've just got damp over the years and stuff. But yeah, I hope everybody's okay. Hope you get it sorted quickly and without any, you know, difficulties with the people coming to the house and stuff. Red Learn is in. Welcome, Red Learn. I'm doing Lord Felthius and the Tainted Cohort at the moment. Very poor casting and mould lines compared with the other Conquest models. Yeah, they're not great. Some of them, most of them have been alright. Some of them have been a little bit ropey around the edges. You get a lot of things where you get, say, a pauldron, and it's got the rim around the edge of the pauldron that you paint gold, say, on an ultramarine. And you've got, like, it'll have the rim that goes around the edge, and then it'll have this little spike that goes up like that. So you've got the pauldron here, and you've got the little ridge that goes around the edge like that, and this little bit will go like that, little bit of moulding, and it's simple enough to just carve out, but it shouldn't be there. It's kind of rubbish. Nobody was in the kitchen at the time. Jolly good. Awesome. I'm glad to hear it, Phil. Lewis is in, model making trucker. Hi all, how is everyone? How you doing, Lewis? I'm assuming you've pulled in at services. Stratstone or Silverstone or Spenmulon or wherever it was. It begins with S, wherever you are. Staffordshire, Stratford upon Avon, Stratstone. I don't know. I can't think of any more S words now. I do like all these like corrugated pipes, but I hate cleaning them up. I love using my scribing tool to get rid of mould lines in recesses, but not when it's like a ribbed tube. Because then it becomes just tedious. I like the way model making trucker says, "Hi Nat, how are you?" Like they're not married. Yeah, so hope you get it sorted there, Phil. Take care, buddy. At least it's, I suppose, small comfort. At least it's in a kitchen area, not in like, you know, your main living room or your bedroom or something where it's unavoidable. At least in the kitchen, you're only going there to cook and stuff. So small mercies, yeah, granted, but it's still a small mercy. Not somewhere you have to be all day every day. No, I'm in Morrison's Sittingbourne. That's it, Sittingbourne. I knew it was an S word of some sort. I'm in Morrison's Sittingbourne, waiting to get on a bay. Going to be about 2 hours at a guess. All right. You picking up or dropping off? If you pick it up, can you just grab me all the things and drop them off on your way past? Because that'd be fantastic. Shh, don't tell everyone, Fox. Okay. Don't tell everyone what did I say? Right. That's that one almost cleaned up. Now this is a slow process. I'd hoped to have done this all in the stream the other night. But it's this process of cleaning up the scenery pieces just takes forever. Even with the amazing miracle tool, it still takes forever because of all this. It's thick, chunky plastic with lots of little rivets and stuff, and it's all tubes and rivety, and yeah, it just takes forever. There's no fast way to do this, and I can't just do a half-assed job on the seam lines and stuff. I can't do that. So let's have a look. Have you decided where you're going to put this when you've built it, Fox? No. When I was saying before about this is going to be split between me and George because George is funding it, all this Space Marine stuff is going to go to George. I'll be posting that to George in the US, and all the Death Guard is going to stay here with me. We haven't decided, haven't really spoken about what we're doing with the scenery pieces yet, because I don't play the game, and I probably will do one day, but I don't have anywhere in the house where I can play the game and set up a 6x4 table, so it's unlikely I'm going to need the scenery pieces, but they are nice models. But having said that, of course, sending them to George when it's something, you know, this big, yeah. When I'm also sending them all the other things, I don't know how we're going to do that. So I don't know what's happening with these scenery pieces, but no, I haven't. This is going to sit on a shelf for the time being above my computer monitor. It can't go in my cabinet because it's too big and there's no space. So, yes. But this is one of the reasons why I'm getting all the Conquest stuff built up in advance, because I can build it all up and put it into like a skirmish case for the figures and stuff. I can put it into a case and out of the way. So it's not taking up shelf space. So that's why I'm building all this now, because I know it's going to take me a good 1.5 2 years to paint everything whilst filming it, because I'm filming it as well. So it's going to take me a long time to do that. So I'd rather them all be stuck away in a transport case, not just filling up shelves. Be careful with the ceiling if it's Artex. The old stuff has asbestos in it, says Darren. Model making truck is dropping off 20 pallets of mushrooms. I love mushrooms. So Dad says not mushroom left at the moment then. Here all week, try the fish. Nat says Chris would like some mushrooms, Lewis, lol. And Dad says nope, I did that joke at 8 AM. Phil Lewis says, do you want me to post pictures in the bin? What you can do, buddy. Absolutely. Where are we? So, yeah, so there's not fast things to clean up these terrain pieces. I just wish they didn't make them look like chocolate, because it looks like real thick chocolate pieces that you want to eat with your face. Because it just makes me hungry for chocolate every time. I'm trying to think of anything to talk about now. I'll normally do here's what we've been up to, but of course it's only been a couple of days or a day since stream. It's only been less than a day since yesterday's modcast, and only a day or so since the stream the other day. So mostly been doing these streams. How are you guys doing? How are you guys staving off, if you're just stuck at home and you're not working, how are you staving off the boredoms? What are you doing? Assuming, obviously a lot of you are going to say we're making models, which is fine. But what else are you doing? It's very easy right now when if this is your hobby, which is, you're going to assume that is because that's why you're watching this. You've suddenly got all this time to do your hobby. You kind of get blown out on it very quickly and you're like, I don't want to do that now. So it's very easy to get burnout after even just a week or two. I mean, I do this all day, every day, because it's my living, so I'm fine with it. But when you guys, you normally get like a few hours at the weekend, and that's your hobby time. But now you've got, some of you have got all day, every day. It's easy to burn out on that straight away. So what are you doing to stave that off? Are you doing other things? You're playing video games? Are you going through your collection of books? Are you painting? Are you doing something else? What are you doing? DIY? Or are you just happy with all this extra time for your modelling hobby? Are you like a pig in poop? And there's next door's but one dog. Still not dropped a piano on it yet. Oh. The one time I need a piano to fall from the heavens and crush a dog to death. The one time I need that. I will be happy with that happening. And it never does. Because I'm a peaceful man. I don't believe in violence and things, but there are times when I just wish, if a piano was to fall from the sky for some unknown reason right now and squish that dog next door but one that never shuts up. Now will be a good time, and it's never happened. I don't ask much from the universe, I don't ask a lot. I expect little and I get less. So, I don't know. Let's have a look. I'll say I still have 2 pallets left for Tesco Snodland. Is Snodland a real place? That doesn't sound like a real nice word. Snodland. Snodland. Can you imagine them sitting there? Right. Our village has now become a town. I think we need to rename our little farming village. This is Bob Medieval talking to all the other medieval people. Right, we need to rename our. It's grown now. We're not just 3 farms. We've now got a little town growing up. So we need to rename it. What should we call it? Well, we're all farmers, so let's call it Farming Land Town. No, that's a rubbish name. Let's not call it Farming Land Town. We're situated on a river. Why don't we... We're situated on the river Blur. Why not call it Blur Town? Or Blurville, or Blur... Or, you know, something on the Blur... No, that's rubbish. Your idea's rubbish. We should call it something pretty, like there's lots of willow trees. Let's call it... You know, something with the word willow in it. Willowburg. I keep calling it Americanized names. It's killing the joke. Let's call it Little Willow on the Hill. Nah, that's too poncy. Let's not call it that. Let's call it Snodland. What the hell is a snod? I don't know. But isn't that a pleasing word? No, it's not a pleasing word. What? Snodland. Motion passed. Oh. What horrible word. Snod. Snodland. There's probably some deep religious meaning, like synod or something, I don't know. From the dark medieval times. But Snodland. Twinned with cramps. Horrible. If anybody of you do live in Snodland, I do apologise, but you've got a really horrible sounding... You know, like some words are beautiful, and some words are pleasing. Squish. Flump. Billow. You know, all these words are pleasing, but snod. It's not a good word. Anyway, let's see what people are doing to pass the time. Reborn in Rationality. Welcome, Reborn. Where did you get your little tool? I've been look. Where did I get my little tool? Let me show you my little tool. This one. This is a Games Workshop one, so I got it from my local Warhammer store. You can't go to your local Warhammer store, unfortunately, because they're all closed. But you can get them from your local Warhammer store or your local gaming store that sells Warhammer Games Workshop items. Or you can just... My belly's rumbling, I do apologise. You can get it from Games Workshop's website, which is gamesworkshop.com. Again, they're closed because of the Chocolate Velociraptor. Or any online store that sells Games Workshop stuff. But other ones are available. My channel sponsors, emodels.co.uk, when they reopen, they'll have similar tools. Other companies do them for model making, but I like this one because it's got a big... Some of them are like little square pieces of metal, but I like this because it's got a big chonky handle that you can't get uncomfortable holding. So, yeah, anywhere that sells Games Workshop, or just Amazon. I think I have this in my Amazon store, which is still open for business. If you're in the US or the UK, go to the description below this video. There's a link there for my US and UK Amazon stores. I think I've got one of them in like the useful tools and brushes section, or whatever the section is called. Have a look around, you'll find it. It'll be in there. I'm pretty certain I put it in there. But it is the best tool you'll ever buy. This and a scriber. Yes. Nim says, posted the maps that I've been doodling for the last few days. Don't ask me what they're for, just things that came to me out of boredom. Cool. Have a look. Where did you go? I've done that one. Games Workshop seam line remover. Or it's the mold line removal tool. I keep calling them seam lines. I don't know why. At home playing games and reading fan fiction and model making, obviously, says Eon's Car. Tomcat says, working and dealing with a cranky 5-month-old while completing the honeydew list. What's a honeydew list? I don't know what a honeydew list is. Wouldn't be a stream without that dog, says Dad. That's true. I think we have another domestic in the chat, but never mind, moving on. The dog next door to Vox is heckling him. Yes. Reborn in Rationality, Trumpton. Time flies by when you're the driver of a train, standing on the footplate there and back again. I've been working, but other than that, the usual D&D and some model building, along with those random maps, says Nim. I work in Snodland, says Challenger Skill. Hey, Challenger Skill Model says, I work in Snodland. Is it a nice place? Because it's got a horrible name. I'm sure it's a nice place, but it's Snod. It just sounds like something to do with nasal fluids. It just doesn't sound... It's not... Oh, no. Snod. I banged him in the snod. I'll pop round for a cuppa then, Redlen. I don't think I'll make it to Snodland today. Oh, there's a place called Trumpington, always makes me laugh. Phil Lewis says mellifluous. That's a nice word, mellifluous. There's a place in Yorkshire called Giggleswick. There is. I've got a mate who lives in Slaggyford in Cumbria. Slaggyford. Where's Colin when you need him? God darn it. Model Making Trucker says another place is called Prickwillow. Some of the British... I've got to tell you, if you don't live in Britain, we have some of the most ridiculously awesome place names ever. And some of them I can't tell you because obviously monetization. So I've got to be careful what I actually say. Got to go now. Food is ready. I will catch the rest of the stream when it becomes a video. Thank you very much for popping in there, Jamie. You're more than welcome. Take care, buddy. Just waiting for my stuff to arrive, says Reborn. Of course, Fox wouldn't know what a honeydew list is as he isn't married. Honeydew fill in many blanks. Oh, okay. It's a please can you or can you just list. Okay, I've got you. I understand now. Yes, I'm not married, so I don't understand such things. I have a list of things like that, but they're more like things I should do because if Mama Fox tries it, she'll fall off the stool and drop her hip. It's not quite as doesn't quite flow off the tongue as much. The name there though. Getting rid of mold lines. It can get boring after a while, even though I've got the most awesome tool in the world. I'm here to fix your washing machine. Let me show you my big tool. There's a fire extinguisher on there. Cool. Even in the 41st millennium, fire extinguishers. I'll show you. I'll show you with the zooming. Hang on. Let me zoom in. Fire extinguisher, look. There. In case of a 41st millennium fire, use the fire extinguisher. I might zoom in a little bit for you. No, I won't actually. I'll stay zoomed out. There we go. That's that bit done. Cy Reynolds says Ramsbottom is always a good town name and one of Paul's favourite pastimes. My belly is making all the noises. Shut up, belly. I'll tell you what, my belly, because I'm a bit hungry. I can't imagine why I'm a bit hungry, Cy Reynolds, but I'm a bit hungry. Gimp. And love you really. But my belly, when it rumbles, it doesn't half rumble, it goes like that. And the worst thing is when I'm trying to film something, because I have a lavalier when I do proper filming, I have a lavalier microphone that clips onto my shirt or t-shirt or whatever. Collar microphone, lapel microphone. And sometimes when I'm filming, my belly's making the noises, and it's a nightmare because I'll be doing a take, and especially if I'm filming a take where I've got to have it's a one take because I'm filming me painting something and I can't unpaint it and redo it. If I'm just talking and I mess my dialogue up, I'll refilm it. So there's a number of times I've been filming something and I'll be talking away to camera and doing something and you can hear oh god, my belly, oh shut up. And I don't always hear it until I get the playback because I'm so focused on whatever I'm building or painting. Nightmare. I'll drive you one for just over £550, says Cy Reynolds. Oh, not worth that much. KFC's nice, but not that much. Cy Reynolds says KFC, and Team Inept says grrr. Although I'm saying all that, for all I know, I might have a local one that delivers. I don't know. I'll have to find out. I bet my local one doesn't, but I'll have a look. If I can get delivery to my house, I'm buying all the KFC in the world. Iru says, if you're Irish, I have a girlfriend who lives in Gash. Well, yes. KFC delivers here, says Paul. Yeah, but we're in the UK and we don't get a lot of that. Glad you said it was your belly, Fox. I thought someone started a tractor. I don't know if I don't think you guys can hear it on this microphone because the microphone's there and my belly's down. The microphone's there. And my belly's down here. So Deliveroo, Mike Fox, or oh, that's a point. That's a point. Whenever I've been in KFC, ooh, there have been guys in there from Deliveroo and stuff. Ooh, you're making me have thoughts now. You're making me have the many thoughts. Did someone just subscribe? What was that? Plasticology has subscribed. Thank you very much for your subscription, Plasticology. I really appreciate it. Unfortunately, my speakers were turned off. My speakers turned themselves off for 10 minutes. And they didn't turn on fast enough to make me hear the noise, but I heard the click of my speakers, so I knew something had happened. Thank you for your subscription. Welcome, welcome. If you are watching, come and join the live chat. It was Deliveroo that delivered mine, says Si. Yes. We shall find out. I've got to be the other thing is, of course, I've got to be really, really careful with Mama Fox. I can't just have people coming and delivering stuff to the house all the time, because I can't make any assumptions and I can't take too many risks. You know, with somebody comes and delivers something and then on whatever they deliver is an unexpected visitor. Yeah, I can't take that risk. So I'm going to be really, really careful. I'll just eat my Morrison's potato and onions and carrots. I'll be fine. I know the food will be fine, but it's what the food comes in. I've got to be... It sounds really stupid, I know, but I've got to be really, 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 really careful. My grandma lived very close to Bad Axe, Michigan, says Candy Graham. But that's axe with an E on the end, and Americans don't have an E on the end. So what does axe with an E on the end mean in America? Or is that you just spelling it that way and it's actually Bad Axe, AX? You may think we can't hear your belly, but Fox, my ears are bigger than a Ferengi's. Oh, well, there you go then. In that case, it's just funny that you can hear my belly shouting. My belly's basically going, feed me, Seymour. And that's its problem, because I'm not Seymour. Had to go out of the house to the shop, Dad, so went from TV to phone. Don't know what we're talking about. Lewis, say bye. The signal where he is atrocious. Oh no. Thanks, Lewis, for coming in, even with your poor signal. Take care, buddy. Drive safe. Enjoy Snodland. Oof. Not a good word. It sounds like the kind of place where, like, the local bus shelter is something they put in the tourist information. Reborn says, I'm looking after my mother too. I'm literally washing everything that comes into the house with alcohol, and I've banned any and all visitors. Can't be too careful with the elderly. Nope. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, this is not exciting. I do not find scenery items. Clean up. I like painting them and I like them. I just don't like cleaning them up because they're tedious. Eon's Car says, Nom, grill burger with processed cheese and brown sauce. Still going to do chicken curry later. Yes. Andy McLeish says, Captain Squig. Cy Reynolds says, interesting they came in sealed bags with labels saying sealed by and with a time. At least you know if the driver snuck a fry or two. Oh, cool. I'm thinking more of things they've added to the packaging, not things they've taken out, like, you know, small, non-living packets of DNA, perhaps, or RNA, you know, that they might have unintentionally added to the package for you, because you never know. Little tiny bits. Cy Reynolds, aren't you one of those immune these days there? Go out and get us all KFC. I think we need to stop talking about KFC now because it's killing me, and I think Gemma is probably just like screaming at Chris now to get us to shut up. Frankie says, back from my kitchen, belly is filled with a cheese and egg sandwich now. Oh yes, cheese and egg. Needs bacon though as well. Really, if you can have cheese and egg, you should have cheese, egg and bacon. Cheese and egg. What kind of cheese, Frankie? What kind of cheese? How about Burger King, says Raging Bassist. I love Burger King. There isn't one near us, unfortunately. There used to be, where the KFC near us now is, that I go to, it used to be a Burger King, and then they closed it. The nearest Burger King to me now is Warrington, which is like half an hour away. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. 45 minutes away. And it's like, I wouldn't mind, but they put Burger King adverts on the bus stations around where on the bus stops. And it's like, I can't. Oh, I want your food, but you're too far away, and no, and yet I hate you. Because I'd much rather have Burger King than McDonald's. But hey, what are you going to do? Chris says we're ordering tonight, not KFC, but a local chicken place. That is okay. Warrington, Manchester will be closer, right? Says bassist. Manchester will be closer, but harder to get into. Where Warrington, you can just drive to the place and get the food. Manchester, you've got to get into Manchester. So Manchester's more of a faff to get into. So Manchester will be more of a pain, even though it's closer. You're driving into a city centre rather than into an urban centre. Yeah, I don't like driving around Manchester. Pain in the bum. I see the tool on your page. No offense, I will wait. The delivery is near enough the same as the tool. What, on Amazon? Do make sure you're on. If you're in the UK, I've got a UK and a US Amazon store. I've not just got one. So make sure you're not looking at the UK store. If you're in the US and it's in pounds, you're in the wrong one. Go to the other store. Or the other way around, of course. But it's not my store, it's just an Amazon store, so it's whoever sells it. Reborn says, I'm kind of lucky I learned to make real takeaway Chinese food. I'm set. You absolutely are. I've drove to Manchester twice to go to gigs. Oh, it's a pain, says bassist. Yeah, many, many years ago, in the mid-90s, I used to have a small studio in Manchester. It was actually in Ducey House, which is behind Piccadilly Station. And it was like a little small studio that I used to use for either recording a music studio, but it was also like an art. I had a drawing board and stuff in there as well, so I was doing drawing, I was doing music. And this was in the mid-90s, and I used to drive into Manchester, and it was great because it was like straight down Manchester Road all the way, Manchester Road over the flyover, Manchester, round the back of Tib Street, done. There you go. And it was dead simple in them days. But then they got all the one-way system and they got rid of the flyover, and it's like, now I wouldn't like to drive into Manchester at all. Back in the mid-90s, it was a breeze. It was a sort of 10-15 minute journey. It was an absolute straight line breeze. And on the way back, you drive back and you go through Hume and down through Old Trafford, and it was great. Not a problem at all. But now, no. I will never drive into Manchester ever again. If I have to go into town, not that I ever do very often because it's not that interesting, but if I ever have to go into Manchester, I'll just get on the tram. I went into Manchester about 3 months ago because it's midlife crisis time for me, so I've decided to go back to combat gear. I decided to ditch the jeans and sneakers and go back to combat pants and combat boots and stuff. I've got the combat boots and some nice t-shirts, but I've not really figured out the combat pants yet. Because I got some, but they're all kind of rubbish, so I've not got that bit sorted yet. But yeah, so I went into Manchester for the first time in like 15 years to look round Affleck's Palace and stuff. And bizarrely, I ended up in a store, one of the little shops in Affleck's Palace, that was there that I used to go to in the early 90s when I used to be into combat gear and stuff. It's still there. I'm like, wow. I used to come to you in the 90s. He went, yep. I probably remembered you if I put my mind to it. So, yeah, but I trammed it. There's no way I'm driving into Manchester. Screw that. Last time I was in Manchester was for the Granada Studios tour. Had a drink in the Rovers, says Reborn. That's going back a long way, buddy. My dad used to work for Granada TV. So I've stood behind the bar in the Rovers Return on the actual set. When I went to work with my dad once. He used to be a cameraman at Granada TV for many, many years. Wandered around the prop rooms. This is in the late 80s. Wandered around the prop rooms, looking at all the props and stuff. Went and sat in all the living rooms on the Coronation Street set. I went up the stairs in Ken Barlow's house and they just stopped round the corner. This is back in the 80s. Go up the stairs and they just stop. And they're really wobbly because it's just a set, obviously. I saw the UK page. Can't look too much. Too many nice things. Yes. It's a cheese called Silta, a type of Gouda. Ooh. I went into town to buy some camo trousers and jacket, but I couldn't find them, says Phil Lewis. Here all week trying to fish. Thank you very much. Right, so I'd say I'd sit and have a look at the chat for 5 minutes to stave off my boredom at cleaning up these parts, but I'm up to date with the chat now. So I need to think of something to talk about that gets the chat moving. Just see, is that clean? No, that's terrible. Some of these nubs are quite refusing to sand down, which is most annoying. I'm having to get the file out, which is kind of frustrating. Midlife crisis, isn't that when you're meant to get a convertible BMW and pretend you're ignoring the fit women when they try to ignore you? Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the whole reason I got back into this hobby in sort of the 2013, 2012, after an absence of 20 odd years, was that the guy I was working with at the time, he kind of had his, it wasn't a midlife crisis, but it was a midlife crisis. It was a midlife crisis, but he couldn't afford to buy a sports car. So he said, let's just go on, he used to make models when he was younger. It's like, should we just go and buy a load of models? Let's go to, I found this place called E-Models. Let's go there in Stoke and just spend a shitload of money and buy loads of models. And that's what we did, because he couldn't afford a sports car. And then he kind of did that for a little bit and then got bored of it. And I stuck with it. And then we had a massive falling out. We're not spoken since, but I'll still be grateful for the fact he got me back into the hobby after 20 odd years. Tomcat, did you hear the rumour that Kim Jong-un is dead? Yes, it's been going around for a few days. That he's undergone some major surgery and is either very ill or he's dropped off the twig, and people are talking about the chain of succession to his sister and stuff. Nobody knows. We won't know. He's done it before. He's gone off before and had surgery and been ill and disappeared for 40 days and come back. So won't make any difference anyway. There are things in place that will stop anything good happening in that part of the world, fortunately. But we don't do politics here. Yes, it'll be fine. It'll be there somewhere. Don't you worry about it. Oh, I've got four. Oh. Christopher C said they'll parade him round like Weekend at Bernie's. Yeah, glorious leader. He's still alive. Look. Yes. I suspect if that is the case, it'll just pass to his sister, and then it'll carry on. Because there was always hope when Kim Jong-un took over from his father. There was the hope, because he'd been educated in Switzerland and was therefore, a bit more exposed to the Western world. There was the hope that he might be a bit more open-minded than his predecessor, than his father, and maybe open the country up to the rest of the world, and that'd be great, and it would be great. But no, he turned out to be exactly the same. So, oh well, never mind. Oh dear, how sad, never mind. Yes, that didn't happen. Never mind. Some things you just can't change. He had a sister, does Andy McLeod. Yeah, there's a whole family, his sister and brother, and well, he had a brother, or was it his cousin? I can't remember. He had him killed anyway. The guy that he had poisoned at the airport, that was his brother, I think. Yeah, there's family members, and they all end up getting killed off. Yes. Anyway, let's not discuss such matters. Chat's kind of stopped, so let's think about something to talk about. I've not done anything because I've been here on live streams with you guys. There's not like I can think of anything to talk about. How's the stream quality, by the way? We doing okay? Audio okay? Video okay? Not had any hiccups or anything? If you remember back in the before times, I had that problem with streams crashing at the same time. I have fixed that now. That did seem to be, because it's never happened since, it did seem to be an issue with Windows updates. Windows checking for updates. So if you are planning on doing any kind of live streaming in your future, be aware, because I didn't know this, in Windows 10, you can tell Windows when to look for updates. If you want to, you can say, please do all the updates on a certain time on a certain day, and just that's when you do it. And then you just make sure you don't stream at that time. However, if you don't set when that's going to happen, then it picks a random time, and that becomes the time it searches for updates. And it's like Windows Defender updates and Windows operating system updates and all that kind of stuff. It will, if it's not specified, it'll pick a time. By default, Windows is set to 0. There's a console command you can use. What's it called? I can't remember. Anyway, you can have between 0 and 7. 0 being 1 being Monday, 2 being Tuesday, and so on and so on. And 0 just means as and when. Pick a random time. Tells the system to choose a random time. And for me, it was 3 o'clock on a Saturday. So after some research, I figured it out, and I went into the console, the various different consoles that I can't remember what they're called to tell you, where you can go and set when it does the searches. So I've basically specified, I fixed it by telling the system to only look for updates for all kinds of things on Thursdays and Fridays and things like that. I think it's Thursdays and Fridays at certain times. Because what was happening was, I'd do my stream on a Saturday. It was the Saturday streams. I'd start the stream, and my system can cope with the stream software. And when I was doing video game streams, it can cope with taking data from the Xbox and data from the streaming software and doing all that and processing all that. That's no problem. But then it was also halfway through that saying, oh, by the way, please also check for Windows updates and Windows Defender updates. Also, that's really system intensive. By the way, your CPU is now at 100% and your computer just stops. So, yeah, that was the problem. So if you are thinking of doing any kind of live stream, I'm not going to go through the whole how I got rid of it, because it all involves things like your task scheduler and loads of other places that I didn't even know existed, and I don't know enough about computers. I would say, if you're going to do live streaming and you don't know when your system's a bit old like mine, it's not a massively powerful system, it's always safe when you do one to go into your Windows settings and just pause auto updates, Windows updates, just for the period that you're doing the stream. Especially if you're streaming something and it's system intensive, like if your system struggles to run streaming software and other things at the same time or whatever, then you might want to do, if you're running off a laptop or something, and all you do is hit your Windows button and you type in Win, and you'll have Windows, I can't remember it now. I type in Win, Windows Update Settings, I think it is. And there's just a button that says Pause Windows Updates for 7 days. And you press that and it pauses them. It just means it won't look for updates. And when you finish your stream, you go back in and you unpause it, and it'll then carry on. If you don't know when your updates are set for. So I do recommend that if you're looking at doing any kind of live streams, and if you're doing them at the same time every week and you never have a problem, then don't worry about it. But if you're doing them at random times like we are now, and you don't know when your updates are scheduled for, do that. Because I know there's bits in Windows where you can go in and say, please don't do updates between 9 and 5, and you can set a time. But that's different. It's completely different. It will still sit there and download them and scan for them. It just won't install them. That's the problem. It's the scanning for, downloading and managing them. Because even just the system looking around and seeing if there is an update and checking what versions you've got is like massively processor intensive. It just chews up your RAM and your processors. So I don't know why, it just is. So yeah. Where are we? Anyway, that should have given enough time for the chat to move. Want to build me a Decimus Felix? Any ideas? Says Iru. I don't know what a Decimus Felix is, but if anyone does, please give them lots of information. Because that would be 10 cat. Decimus being 10 or 10th, and Felix being cat. Yes. Nat says, hello, it's Connor, model making trucker son. I am 5. When I'm older, I want to be a model builder. Hello, Connor. Welcome, welcome. You have like the best parents ever. I just have to tell you that. Nom. Coffee. Welcome. I would say, if you want to be a model builder when you get older, you can be a model builder now when you're younger. You can make little things. There's lots of things you can build now. You need to be a bit older till you get to the point where you're doing builds like your dad with his HMS Belfast and all the little bits of photo etch. But at your age, you can be doing Lego and stuff. You can be doing little snap fit kits. You can have all kinds of fun. But yeah, if you're anything like your dad, you'll be a great model builder. So study what your dad does, watch and learn, ask him questions. Ask him questions all the time. I recommend you just constantly ask him questions non-stop. Yeah. Join in with your dad when he builds stuff. And your mum when she builds stuff, because Nat does it as well. And yeah, I see great things ahead. Felix is lucky, not cat, says Team Inept. So a lion is lucky Leo, because it's Felix Leo. Or it's Felis. Oh, it's Felis. And all right, shut up. Moving on. I never did Latin at school, so I can claim immunity from that being stupid. I don't know. Who needs Latin anyway? There's a point in that. Darren says, because I'm a cheapskate, nothing wrong with that. Do you think I could make a mould line tool out of a ground down door key? Absolutely. As long as it's got... You can't really see on camera. I'll see if I can zoom in. It's not a sharp blade, but it has a 90-degree, like that. That is 90 degrees from there to there. That's 90-degree cut to it. The edge is like it's like a square edge. It's not a pointy blade. This edge here, it's not even on camera. This edge, not this curvy bit here. Ignore that. But this edge here is just 90 degrees, vertical, horizontal, vertical, and it's sharp, a sharp edge, but not a cutty sharp. You can't cut yourself with it. So as long as you can grind it down to have a nice, crisp 90-degree edge like that, any kind of thing will do. It's critical. It has that edge. It's the 90-degree right angle corner that you want, because you want to be able to put it on a flat surface like that and drag it along. Where's the camera? Put it on a flat surface and drag it along like that. The beauty of this tool is it doesn't gouge and bend, but it's also straight. So you drag it along, it just stays straight. It doesn't bend, it doesn't flex, and you'll keep that surface flat and even. That's the trick. So yeah, as long as you can get it nice and straight and flat. Oh, where's the tool? There you go. As long as you can get that edge absolute straight and 90 degrees, sweet. Make it out of anything. Be a lot cheaper. The back of a blade or craft knife will do if you're careful, says Reborn. It will, but the difference is, of course, these are flexible. They're wibbly wobbly, and that's where you start getting scratches and scrapes. Whereas this is it's a lot thicker and it's not bending. So that's one of the beauties of it. You can use this, and I've said it before, but especially when you have, like, say you glue two things together, like two halves of a fuselage, and one is a little bit taller than the other, you get that little step. It's perfect. You can get this and you can go scrape, 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 and you get one side down, and then you get your nice flat straight edge. And they're also great for when you've done, say, sprue goo filling and you want to sand it down to flat. But if it's a big flat surface and you fill that gap with something there, flat, perfect. Oops. Just looking for something to do, says Darren. Oh no, you can't be that bored, surely. Where are we? Yeah, right. Reborn says, "Oh, the lockdown. I was slow. You got no use for your keys." And Darren says, "Yeah, I can climb through the window." Welcome, Darren. By the way. I've been out of task schedule a lot, and it always is a ball ache with Reg Edit up there. Hang on, I'll read that again. I've been in and out of task schedule a lot, and it's always a ball ache with Reg Edit right up there with it on my befuddlement charts. Yes, I had to do a little bit of research as to how to do it, but I figured out how to schedule. If you're in the task scheduler, you can find the section where it actually has all the scheduling for Windows updates, and you can set things in there. But there's another place you can go to do lots of other settings, and it's actually putting in through the command line prompt. Excuse me, but I can't remember what that's called. And that seems to override even the task scheduler. because that is where you put the 0 to 5 or 0 to 6 to say what day to do any. I think task scheduler is for your okay, task scheduler is for your Windows Defender updates. I could be wrong. Don't take me as an expert. Task scheduler is for your Windows Defender updates, and the one in the other place, I can't remember what it's called, is for the actual Windows updates, and that's where you say I want it on a day. You can set the time as well, but it's weird the way it does it. You have to say it's like you have to do it in 24-hour clock and minutes and seconds. It's a bit confusing. Reborn says, I got ID'd for a tweezer set that had a craft knife in it. I'm old enough not to be. Very obviously old enough. Yeah, it's quite good, that. Take it as a compliment. Paul says, I did do Latin and it's Dad's first language, and Dad says, cheeky bugger. Eon's Car says, those who played and build with Lego, what was or is your Lego kit that you built? There's no such thing as one Lego kit. Everybody's built everything. I never really played with Lego. I had Lego when I was a kid, but I didn't really play with it. But when I was an adult and I was earning an income, and it was like 2009, and I'd been through a bad time in my life, and I was in a good place at the same time, my mates where I worked, and we all hated our jobs, and we had disposable income. I did accidentally buy myself the Lego Super Star Destroyer, the UCS collector kit, and that was brilliant. It was 500 quid, but it was brilliant back in the day. I've still got it. It's just on loan at the minute to my mate Busby, because I had no space. So I loaned it to him and he took it apart and built it. Ian's Car says, mine was Barnacle kits and Exo 4 Lego kits. Now, I had Lego as a little kid in the 70s, but it was in the days when Lego was rubbish. And it was only, like I say, about 2009 or 10, hanging out with my friends where I used to work in the office, and we talk about various things, and it was like the Star Wars stuff got our interest. So I got the Lego Superstar. I saw it. It was seeing Will and Norm build the Lego Star Wars on testing when they had when Will built the Death Star and Norm built the Super Star Destroyer, and watching that, because they were funny, I went out and got the Super Star Destroyer, and that got me into Lego Star Wars for a bit. Let's have a look. Andy McLeish says, Folk Handles. Where's Colin when you need him? Paul says, Romani ite domum. I do know some Latin. I know Cave Carnum. Pirate Lego Battlefort and Galleon 1980-1990, says Andy McLeish. Don't worry, Fox, we never take you as an expert. I'm an expert in many things, just none of them any use. Robin Hood Lego set. Oh, says Iru. Fox is special, says Andy. I've been looking for the Super Star Destroyer for years, says Tomcat. The difficulty with the UCS kits, the Ultimate Collector series, is they only do them for a short time, like for 2 or 3 years. They have limited production runs. Out. So, like, the Super Star Destroyer is long out of print. It only, I think, went about 2 or 3 years, and that's many, many years ago. So, but what they tend to do is they tend to do like a UCS kit for 300 or 400 quid for about 2 or 3 years. Then they stop it, and then those kits suddenly go up in price to like thousands of pounds. Like the original UCS Millennium Falcon is now like thousands of dollars, or thousands of pounds, but it's not that good. And then about 10 years later, they'll tend to reissue them as new kits with new designs. So they redid the UCS Falcon, I think, and they redone the Star Destroyer, I think. I can't remember. So I wanted the original. I wanted the UCS Star Destroyer, but it was long out of print, and I wasn't paying £3,000 for it. It wasn't worth that much. So yeah, so it's long out of print, I think. You'd be paying a fortune for it now. It's not worth. I mean, I paid £499 for it from Lego, and I'd say it wasn't really worth that, but it was worth it. I wouldn't pay more than that for it though. But it's not around anymore, so you'd get gouged on price. Sadly, is that the one that Norm threw at the end of the build? Yes, says Si. Yes, Norm crashed it into the Death Star that Will built. That was hilarious. That was in the days when Tested was good, as in Tested was good when Will was there. When Will left, it went downhill. Adam's stuff is good, but other than that, no, it went downhill. When Will left, I went off Tested. The Tested podcast was a regular listen for me, and it was more Will and Norm together were funny, but Will on his Norm on his own. He's a nice enough lad, but you know, it's just no. I've never forgiven him for that space battleship Yamato. That was the breaking point for me. I was guilted into giving my Lego away to a cousin because I was too old. I was 15, says Reborn. That's child abuse. I think you need to file something somewhere for that. I did get the $800 collectible Falcon. I haven't built it yet, says Tomcat. Is that the new one or the old one from like 2003? Because if it's the old one from 2003, that's worth about $5,000 now. You don't want to build that. You want to leave it boxed and sell it on eBay for thousands and thousands of pounds or dollars. You are never too old for Lego, says Eon's car. And Reborn says, I know that. I think what he meant was it was decided that he was too old because he was, you know, his parents. You're too old for Lego. Give it to your cousin. What? Knobhead Norm sounds like an orc mech neck. Mechanic says Andy McLeish. Miles Finch says, I think we share DNA. Too many shared views. Welcome, Miles. I didn't see you in the chat there. I can't afford the old one, says Tomcat. Nobody can afford the old one. In that case, if you've got the new one that's $800, don't make it. I mean, either make it and have fun with it, or don't make it and sell it in about 5 years for thousands of dollars. They really do go crazy, crazy value-wise. Thank you, Fox. You have made his day. He was beaming when he heard his name, says Nat. No problem at all. More than welcome. You need to get him inducted into the hobby, Nat, and you need to get him putting pictures up in the boom of his works. Maybe not him putting them up, but yeah, we want to see how he gets on. Somebody outside is doing a barbecue. It doesn't smell like. It smells like burning paper. It doesn't smell like a barbecue, but it's a nice smell. Somebody's burning something somewhere. Probably a barbecue. It's making me hungry. Yeah. Yes, you're more than welcome, Nat, to put if you get him into the hobby, get him building things. Doesn't matter what they are. More than welcome to put pictures up in the boom so people can see and encourage him. Obviously, posting on his behalf. I'm always more than happy to get kids encouraged into this hobby. Because at the end of the day, it's like, you know, we're all in this hobby and we've all chosen probably one of the most expensive hobbies there is. Because if you think of it, you know, for pound, what we're spending our money on, it's kind of silly and it's a lot of money on silly bits of plastic, but we love it. But it's a creative hobby, and I'm always up for promoting creative hobbies to the younglings. So anything that gets kids into it is good in my book. Don't they say Lego is only if you are less than 99? You're only too old for Lego if you're 100, says Bassist. And Chris says, don't they say Lego is only if you... Because it's 0 to 99, isn't it? Kids didn't really have a voice as loud as the adults then, just the time, says the unscript. Yeah, about the Lego being taken off. Yeah, when you're that age, you don't get a choice. In my case, I was the youngest of 3, so I didn't have to give my stuff to anybody. I got to keep it as long as I wanted. But unfortunately, it just meant I got all their stuff when they got too old. But that was fine. I don't mind. But yes, ours is an expensive hobby, but the beauty of like younger builders is they don't have the expectations that we do. You know, we can look at a crappy kit and say that's a crappy kit compared to this other kit. You get a really young builder, they're just happy to build something. if I may suggest, Nat, some of those Airfix like kits that are for kids, but they look like Lego, but they're not. Like some of the ones that Ted showed on his channel. Like there's a fighter plane and there's a sports car and stuff like that. They're like Lego, but they're kind of model kits, but they're not. That might be quite fun if he's 5. Never too young. Never too young. Just you know, make him aware that we do expect him to be 100 times better than his dad by the time he's 10, because that's always hilarious. Number of people that have said to me, yeah, I got my son and my daughter into model making, and then 5 years later they were better than I was after 30 years, you know. It's like, yeah, instant regret, but also massive pride. Yeah. That barbecue smells good. I can't smell the meat, I can just smell the burny barbecue, and it smells good, man. It's making me think of meat. I'm hoping that paella we've got downstairs is defrosted to the point where I can cook it when they've finished. Annie McLeish says, define expensive. Video games are anywhere from £20 to £70. Sports gear can cost an arm and a leg, and I'd rather do plastic crack than actual crack. Yeah, I mean, it's not the most expensive hobby, but it's not a cheap hobby. It's like when we get into the conversations about, like, you know, bootleg stuff. You see it on like Gunpla forums and things all the time. People like saying you should buy there's no harm in buying bootleg Gunpla, or there is harm in buying bootleg Gunpla, and things like that. I try not to get drawn into those, but it does get to the point where you want to say to people, listen, because you say, well, I buy the knockoff stuff because I can't afford the real stuff. It's like, well, maybe you're just in the wrong hobby. Because if your hobby is something you can't afford, you maybe need to adjust that hobby to the bit where you can afford it until a later time when you can afford it, rather than support criminals. And it's a fair point. You know, I'd love to be able to drive Ferraris, but I can't afford a Ferrari, so it's not going to happen. I'm happy with my Fiesta instead. What's that tool you're using, says J-Day. Hey, J-Day. Everybody's asking about this today. It is the Citadel seam line removal tool from the Games Workshop. It's brilliant. It's for getting rid of mold lines, but you can use it for all kinds of things. But it's a lot easier than sanding and filing sometimes. You can get it from Games Workshop, from Warhammer stores, from my Amazon store, from loads of places. But it's the Citadel mold line removal tool. Other brands are available, of course. But it's one of the most indispensable tools you can imagine. Are you denubbing, or is that getting rid of the flash? A bit of both. I've got nubs on these anyway, and there's a mold line all the way around the edge. So this is designed to just basically scrape off the mold line. You don't really get flash on Games Workshop stuff, but it's just this very small mold line. It gets rid of it, but it also gets rid of nubs a little bit. But it's not. I prefer to file them or hack them away if they're quite large. But there's no massive nubs on this. There's some quite big chunky ones, but it's just I can just file them really quickly. And then this just gets rid of the mold line. Fox is doing what Ming the Merciless couldn't do. What, get rid of a seam line? I'm getting flashbacks now to having the cassette of the Flash Gordon soundtrack, which was terrible. The Queen cassette. Glitus, I'm bored. What plaything have you got for me today? An obscure planet in the something or other sector, Your Highness. The inhabitants refer to it as the planet Earth. About that. They had little bits of the film soundtrack interspersed into the actual songs. But the film clips were like in mono. It was really weird. Glitus, I'm bored. Well, gotta go fire the Barbie up. Catch you later, says Carl at Making Models. Thanks for coming in, Carl. See you later, buddy. Thank you for your company, and take care. And enjoy your barbecue. Andy McLeish says, oh, come on, Squadron 40, dive! Yeah, Brian Blessed. Quintilus Varus, where are my eagles? God bless him. Brian Blessed is the most national treasure of national treasures. if you ever have an argument about why the United Kingdom is vastly superior to the United States, it's because we have Brian Blessed and you don't. That tips the balance in any argument about which is best. Whatever your comparison points, this, that. Yeah, we've got Brian Blessed. Then you just drop the mic and walk out. Because you can't get around that. Any country that doesn't have Brian Blessed is just not as good. Quite simple. Flash Gordon is blooming classic, says Miles Finch. Absolutely. Gliders, I'm bored. What plaything have you got for me today? I've not listened to that soundtrack in like 30 years, so I'm doing it from memory. I don't know, but we'll try. Just little snippets of the audio. Brian Blessed did the voice of Gotrek in the... Start that again. Brian Blessed did the voice of Gotrek in the Gotrek and Felix audio tape. Yes, he'd done some Games Workshop stuff. Barbecue smells really good. We'll do it. Oh yes, yes. He does voice Gotrek the dwarf. Nat says definitely Andy. Connor and his sister Paige 3 love doing the models just like Daddy. So my input will be don't feed your parts to the carpet monster. Yes, excellent. So they're already into the hobby. Cool. You are raising your children well, Nat, and we have approval of this. Massive approval. Now, if you can just get them indoctrinated into the love of pot noodles, that's obviously important. Stroop waffles, they need to be exposed to stroop waffles at an early age so they can develop the addiction. I mean, preference. And then when they're old enough for glue, obviously there's Games Workshop to consider. There's Warhammer that should be considered. But yes, definitely pot noodles is on there in part of the indoctrination. I mean, education. Did you see him as King in the first season of Blackadder? He was brilliant. I don't remember him in that. Man, it's been a long time since I've ever seen the first season of Blackadder. So, but yeah, Brian Blessed as Augustus in I Claudius, just fantastic. Is there anyone who hasn't slept with my daughter? Absolute genius. And if you want the most amazing death scene in any TV production or movie production ever in the history of film and theatre and video, then Augustus's death in I Claudius. How he did that and had to do it twice because he did 2 takes. If you don't know what I mean, then when you finish watching this, just do a search for I Claudius Augustus death scene. It's all done. There's no freeze framing. It was done live. Like live to camera. Live action. And to this day, I don't know how he did it. I Claudius is... If you've never seen it, find it. Watch it. It's just a seminal drama series. Plus, it's got all the actors that you recognise from everything ever, like Patrick Stewart, and there's obviously David Jacobi, and there's Brian Blessed, and there's all yeah. Connor likes the look of the Warhammer, but they're a bit fiddly. Connor had to build them, so we're starting off with the level 1 kits till they're older. Yeah, they might be a little bit young for some of the stuff to start with. But if he likes the look of the Warhammer, you are raising your child well. 10 plus 10 XP. You're doing all the right things. You're clearly the best mum and dad ever. Have I got most of that? Let's have a look. Near enough. I'm getting all finicky about getting all this nice and smooth, but I'm realising it's scenery. It's going to look battered and beaten. If I've got a few scritches and scratches and chunks taken out there, it's not so bad because this is terrain. It's scenery. It doesn't have to look neat and tidy. It can look scruffy around the edges. And it will. By God, it will. Let's have a look. Miles Finch, I've been told some dirty stories about lovely Brian. Feed your parts to the carpet monster. I knew the bloke who invented Bombay Bad Boy. Really? Because I figured out how you make a Bombay Bad Boy is you just get some noodles and whatever you want, and you just put a load of cumin in it. It's just cumin. It's entirely cumin. Because I got the Bombay Bad Boy, and I love them. And when they decided they're going to bring out the doner kebab flavour, I was amazed. Yes, there is a god. And I got the doner kebab one, and it was just a Bombay Bad Boy. I'm like, oh, it's kind of the same flavour. Still nice. But then when we got a new spice rack, and I'd never had cumin before. I think it's cumin. Is it cumin? Yeah. And I got this. I was like, oh, that smells like Bombay Bad Boy, and it's just cumin. It's fantastic. But yeah, Bombay Bad Boy is good stuff. That. I mean, we're not talking like we're not talking proper those Korean death noodles that have the fat Kim Jong-un looking chicken on the front. I can't remember the name of Samyang death pots 2 times fiery, because they are just the bee's knees. But yeah, Bombay Bad Boys. I like a Bombay Bad Boy. If I'm putting my pot noodles in order, I would say green chicken and mushroom is the absolute pinnacle. Then Bombay Bad Boy probably second, and you can lump in the doner kebab because it's the same flavour. Other than that, everything else is all right. Nat Williamson says, yes, Connor loves pot noodles. You are doing everything right with this child. I've got to tell you. You are doing all the correct things with this youngling. He likes pot noodles. He likes the look of Warhammer. He does a bit of the modelly buildy. I can't see. Just go for his sister as well. Do you know what's cool? Is, you know, boys liking pot noodles. You know what's even cooler? Girls liking pot noodles. It's equal opportunities filth in a pot, basically. I'm so bored of that. I've only got 2 more to do. 1 more to do. 2 more to do. Well, 1 death quick. He worked for IFF International Flavors and Fragrances. They were very proud of it. They are. It is nice, but the thing is, once you actually smell, if you just get a little pot of cumin and you smell it and you realise majority of the scent is just cumin, which is nice. Nothing wrong with it. It's gorgeous, but it's a little underwhelming when you realise it's basically just flavoured like 1 herb. Yes, you should be proud of it though, because it is fantastic. They are fantastic. I just wish they did pot noodles 4 times the normal size, because that would be a full meal then. I really want a Bombay Bad Boy. Oh, God damn it! I didn't tell Mama Fox. If I tell Mama Fox to order some pot noodles, she'll order like a box of 300 pot noodles by mistake. I'm not seeing the downside actually when I'm thinking about that. She did that once. She did order like a pack of 16 pot noodles. That lasted quite a while. Yeah, but Mama Fox likes to order things but not look at the actual numbers sometimes. You do end up with, like, for example, a 5-foot high box of packets of crisps. Brilliant. We've got many crisps in this house. Mama Fox, you just snag some pot noodles off Amazon for me. There you go. Bang. 500 pack. Wow. That's bigger than I thought. Iru says, in the 41st millennium, there is only pot noodles. Pot noodle, the emperor's food. Pot bucket. Yeah. Pot barrel. I'm just a chicken and mushroom fan, although the flavours seem to be different now, says Reborn. Yeah, they've changed them a bit. They've got rid of a lot of the salt, which is a good thing. They're not quite the same. If you've never seen it before, on my channel, if you go to my channel homepage and go to playlists, and go to created playlists, for some reason, you can't see all of them straight away. I do have, I don't know what playlist it's in, actually. So maybe don't go to playlist, but I do have, I might be in the how-to playlist, but I've got how to make the perfect pot noodle. In my opinion, of course. It's quite an old video now, but it shows you how to make the perfect chicken and mushroom green pot noodle. You will just need the breads, soy sauce, dark soy sauce, butter, and your green pot noodle. And it will show you how. You'll learn to make the perfect flavour enhancing pot noodle. You'll learn to create your bolus of happiness, little boli of happiness, and how to maximise your pot. You'll take pot noodle from a quick snack to a full meal, and you'll have nothing but happiness. Or your ventures will succeed, or your children will be beautiful and intelligent, and all your wives will be stunning and beautiful. None of that is true. You just make a really nice pot noodle. I will try it, says Reborn. Yes. What about a KFC pot noodle? Oh! Stop talking about KFC. It's torture. I really want KFC. Boneless. They do like a boneless box, but why can't they do a boneless bucket? It's like 1,000 chicken balls and 1,000 chicken breasts and all the... I want KFC. I want KFC. I want KFC. I want KFC. If anybody from KFC is watching, please can you just sponsor me by sending me a load of KFC like now, please? Because I love you, and I'll talk about KFC all day long if you want me to. If you just send me KFC free now, just do it now. If anybody watching knows somebody who works at KFC in the management, just please arrange. I need it to live. I need KFC to live. Starving now. All this conversation today has made me really not interested in the paella I've got for dinner, because now it's not as interesting as all the other things we've talked about. God damn it. I need to not talk about food on these streams, do I? Cy Reynolds says, God damn pot noodles again. Sorry, mate. You talk about KFC when nobody wants you to. I'll talk about pot noodles. It's quid pro quo, dude. Tit for tat. A little give and a little take. There you go. I haven't had a pot noodle in ages, says Andy. Well, then you need to. Andy says to Darren, food of the future. Because he says KFC pot noodle. Yeah, Simon, what about, Simon, a KFC pot noodle? Is that some kind of like deep psychological conflict for you there now? Would you be turned by a KFC? John Kenwood says, kebab spices should be salt, black pepper, paprika, cumin, oregano, or mixed herbs. Yeah. I've only recently discovered cumin as a herb to add. In the last year, I've discovered the joy of paprika on everything. And I just put it on everything, on everything. I just sprinkle it everywhere. And cumin. So when I'm making like soup and stuff, I'll put cumin and paprika in it. Paprika makes everything better. Oh, when I fry onions, I fry them with butter and paprika. Just because of course I do. Team Inept asks a question and he's just being childish now. Fox, do you like your food with cumin? And I would say, no, because I don't get my takeaways from your locals. Got you back on that one. Are you just doing that, Paul, because Dave's not here? Lewis says no to the Warhammer with the kids. He can dream, lol. Good girl. He just doesn't want to do that because then he knows if he gets them into Warhammer, then they'll want to play the game and they'll whoop his ass. Because he'll have to play Warhammer with them and then there'll be carnage. Oh, that barbecue smells great. I can't smell meat foods. I can just smell the burning wood. Unless somebody's just burning wood. In which case, I would wish it was money for the guy. I got told off by the neighbour. You know, the neighbour with the silly dog. I got told off a couple of weeks ago. And it's fair play, because I was wrong. I had loads of paper and stuff, and I just started burning some paper in the back, because we usually do it. And I wasn't thinking really, and he was like, oh, you can't be burning stuff. And I'm like, oh, good point. So I stopped. So he shouted at me, what are you burning stuff for? And I was like, fair enough, yeah, probably not the best time to be burning rubbish. And you can't anyway. I was half asleep and thought I'll burn some of this rubbish, and I don't know why. Anyway, it'd be ironic if it was him burning some garden rubbish, because I could shout over and say, hey, you know how you bollocked me the other day? Have a bit of that back. Yes, you're not supposed to burn burn rubbish in your garden anymore. Other than a little tiny amount of garden waste, perhaps. I was just burning paper. It wasn't anything dangerous, but yeah, he was right though. And I hate it when somebody tells you off and they're right, because it's double frustration. I won't mind, but he's like 13 years old. When your neighbour who's like a child. And when your neighbour who's like a child and lived there for like 2 years, and you've lived on this street for almost 50. Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing. A KFC pot noodle would just make me hate KFC, surely. No, I think you might be turned, Si. I think it might turn you. For you, it would be like an accidental trip into the warp, where you would see the majesty of Nurgle, or perhaps Tzeentch. If it's a pot noodle, it'd be Tzeentch, wouldn't it? You'd accidentally fall into the warp and be gifted the majesty and knowledge of Tzeentch. Can't you have fires after 8 PM? Says Miles. No, apparently you're not allowed. It depends on each local authority, but it's just not really allowed. You're not allowed to burn household waste or rubbish and stuff. Small amount of garden waste you maybe get away with, as long as it's in an awkward time of the day when nobody's around. But yeah, just burning normal household waste, you're not allowed to, because of all the stuff that's in it that's dodgy and toxic. So, which I did not know. I went and looked it up on my local authority website, and it's true. I was like, oh, he's 12, he's lived there for 5 minutes, and he was right. And I was really frustrated. I was like, oh, I wouldn't be so frustrated if it wasn't that he was 12. And never mind. Car tyres, yeah, definitely. You can have a big fire of car tyres. That's legal. That's allowed. Back in a sec, all this talk of food makes me want some fried rice. MSG, yes. Chili sauce will be the same, just more chili powder, says John Kenwood. I like in this. Round your way, they're probably just burning all their hoarded bog roll. Yeah. You can compost it instead, says it. Hey, Ian. Yes, you are. It is recommended, instead of burning your rubbish, that you compost it if it's household. Like, you know, if it's garden waste and stuff, you're supposed to compost it, not burn it. And it makes sense because we're in like a pollution-free zone. But it's just like, you know, ever since I was a kid, every now and then, like once or twice a year, we'll have like a little sort of bag of paper and letters and stuff that we just burn. It's stuff, because what we used to do is, obviously paper waste gets recycled, but stuff like letters and things with our addresses on, rather than have to sort of shred them and stuff, which is a pain in the bum, we just used to gather them like envelopes with your name printed on them. We just gather them up for a year, and then one day just spend half an hour burning them. I guess you can't do that anymore. I think I was burning something that maybe had packing tape on it, perhaps like a padded envelope or something, and that was smelling, and he was like, "What are you doing?" Cy Reynolds says, come round once you've slain the Velociraptor, I'll make you some proper noodles. Oh, don't get me wrong. The moment my local Chinese takeaway opens, I'm ordering like 25 portions of their Japanese beef udon, because I'm missing that. More than KFC nonsense, which is compared is drivel. Massively, I am missing my local Chinese, because they do Japanese. I'm missing my wonton soup with shumai, and I'm missing my Japanese beef udon. I hope they don't go out of business, because that would make me really sad. Oh, really, really want Japanese beef udon. Oh, because udon are my favourite noodles. They are absolutely udon. Soba noodles are nice, but udon, just the big and the fat, and what more do you want? I could kill a big tasty right now, says Miles Finch. God damn it, so could I. Grande Big Mac. Ooh. Shopping trolleys. Miles Finch. I need to clear my throat. One sec. There we go. Yeah, Miles Finch is listing things he wants to burn in his back garden now. Just don't go full-blown Wicker Man. They may be suspicious if the neighbour disappears. I could make a Wicker Man dog, and they'd get suspicious because their dog disappeared. But you know what? It wouldn't bug me with its barking anymore. Yeah. Crime of the century. No one ever figured it out. The perfect crime. Order enough to fill your freezer just in case we have a second wave, Fox. Oh, yeah. Can I order 45 Japanese beef udon, please? Yeah. Just all the food, says Andy McLeish. I really wish... I'm kind of regretting doing this stream now, because you're killing me. We're just talking about all the foods I can't have that I want. And all the food I have in the house now is really rubbish, I've decided, compared to all the things I want that I can't have. And when you talk about stuff that you can't have, everything else is just rubbish. Japan do a samurai Big Mac. Oh. See, I like McDonald's, but it's not like I sit there and crave a McDonald's. Because you eat the McDonald's and it's nice, but then an hour later you're hungry again because it's just bland. It's just processed nonsense. I would get, you know, if we're talking about food stiffies here, Burger King, I would get a food stiffy about, you know, Burger King, because I sit there and go, oh, I really fancy a Whopper with the and I fancy what because Burger King do nice burgers. But McDonald's, it's more just like, I'm hungry, I'll apply a McDonald's to my face. I mean, there have been times when it's been 2 in the morning and I've thought, I need to apply McDonald's to my face, and I go and I get some and I come back 24 hours. But that's more just, it's a utilitarian thing. It's I have a hunger, I need to satiate it now, and McDonald's is there and it's easy. Whereas Burger King is more like actual food. Ian says fudge. Iru says smacky D's. Reborn says burning things in the UK, we're barely allowed to burn wood on Guy Fawkes now. Yeah, you are allowed to have bonfires on Guy. I assume on bonfires. I don't know actually. Never asked that. I guess theoretically you could have a bonfire in your garden on Guy Fawkes on bonfire night. I guess you could leave all your rubbish to them. That'd be kind of clever. But I don't know. Right, I have to be careful blowing dust off this thing now because I've got a big pile of chocolate shavings here that's going to go everywhere if I start blowing the shavings off the plastic. I don't think how much chocolate shavings are underneath my plaster. Be all of them. Andy McLeish says, big ass double Whopper with all the things. Yeah. Double bacon Whopper. Oh, don't make me think about Burger King. I can't get Burger King even if I wanted to. Oh, God damn it. I need army men to come and deliver me Burger King stuff. And then for some reason Chris says, I've just ordered from the local KFC-like place, not the same we'll have to do. I'm sure you said that like half an hour ago, didn't you? You were doing that? We have plenty of KFC clones. Southern fried chicken. Tasty chicken, southern fried chicken, tasty. Yeah, they do everything they can to look like KFC without actually calling themselves KFC. We're still talking about KFC and food, aren't we? We're still talking about food that I can't have. My stomach is like doing somersaults. My local Indian is open for foods, but Mrs. says no, instead enchiladas. Double bacon, cheese, extra large. Oh, XL. I mean, XL, not extra large, XL. Alright, Chris says no, I said we were going to, but now the order is placed. Eric Graham's in. Hey Eric, welcome matey. Right, finally got all them cleaned up. Finally. I'm going to take off my space visor. I'm going to clean up this dust and nonsense. Clean up this dust and nonsense. Put the lid on my stabity device for safety purposes. Just going to go there. Put those there. I'm really hungry. I need to eat all the things right now. Really want burgers and nonsense. Because you've got to be honest. You've got to be, even if you're like a gourmet chef, there's always a point of time when your entire cooking process wants to be food, please. 10 minutes later, knock on the door, food appears. That's the most complicated I want cooking to get, because I hate cooking. I love food, but I hate cooking. You know why? Because I'm lazy. I want to press some buttons and either have food just magically appear in a machine warm, like in a microwave or something, or I want to press buttons and have a man turn up at the door with food in a bag. That's how I want my cooking to be. Why we don't have replicators yet, I'll never know, but I really wish that was a thing. You press some buttons and all your food appears within seconds. That'd be heaven. That'd be heaven for me. But no. You're expected to stand in front of an oven or a cooker and make your food. That's ridiculous. It's nonsense. Who wants manual labour to get food? When you can just press a button and a little man brings it for you. Why would you want to do the other way? I don't know. I'd definitely rather have enchiladas than Indians. Andy says Nat. Yeah, it's a tough one. We've got a few local curry houses and their curries are really nice. But the problem is... Oh, just very quickly.
Slap it on.
The problem is with our local curry houses is that they insist on putting cardamom seeds in everything. And I can't stand cardamom. If I bite down on a cardamom seed in my curry, I'll retch, and then I'll have to spend the next 10 minutes picking through my curry with a fork very carefully to get all the cardamom seeds out. I can't, they make me retch. So, I can't often get curries. We had a takeout that opened round the corner that did most fantastic lamb karahi's, and then they went out of business about a year later, so I was maximum sadness. And now they just sell burgers and pizzas. I don't care. So, Paul says, when you're as good as cooking at I am, it's not so bad. Yeah, I know. Even if I was the best chef in the world, I'd still got to stand there for an hour and make the food. By the time I've made it, I'm bored. I want to do something else. When I was in college, I'll move that out of the way. When I was in college the other year doing my patisserie course, says Raging Bassist, I like that. I'm studying patisserie. I was offered a fancy meal from the restaurant worth £30. I turned it down because I had my heart set on Burger King. This is correct. You are now a man, my child. So what you are saying is you want a replicator? Absolutely. Ian Thompson says cardamom, crunchy. The thing is, there is a place for cardamom, and a great place to have cardamom. I don't mind that. It's the weird thing. I don't know why. If I make a proper cup of milky chai, like proper tea with milk, and you put a couple of cardamom, you split a cardamom seed so it's a little bit open. You put that in. You make your milky chai, and then you take the cardamom seeds out, and they just impart the flavour, and that's nice. I like that. Making a proper cup of chai with the oh, nice. But if you put cardamom in my curry and then take the cardamom out, I'll eat the curry and won't even notice it. It's fine. The flavour's fine. But if I have a cardamom in there and I bite it and you get intense cardamom from the seed, oh, it's horrible. It's retch time, that is. A hint of flavour's nice, but to actually bite the damn thing, oh, no. Tomcat says, I live near Kentucky. Shall I talk to the Colonel on your behalf? For the love of God, please do. Please do. I need regular emergency parcels. I need an airdrop. I need all of it just in my face. Can they just drop a parcel into my face? That'd be great. Lewis says, is a replicator one of those Star Warsy things which I have no idea about? And right now, about 100 geeks have just exploded. It's a Star Trek thing. Darren says chai, and he does a dollar symbol eyes. Yeah. Yeah, proper Indian chai. It's basically tea, milk, hot milk, tea, a couple of cardamom seeds. Oh, fantastic stuff. I've never tried that with Barry's tea, actually. But the thing is, I can't do sugar anymore, so I can't drink tea, because tea without sugar is just ass. Right, let's apply some doodads, some diddy bongs. Nat, slap Lewis for me. Yes, it's a Star Trek thing. Replicator, you tell it what you want and it just makes it. There you go. Tea, Earl Grey hot. I didn't number these. That was my first mistake. My second mistake was I didn't number these. Not that one. I know they don't have to go in a very specific place, but I want to put it in a specific place. Right, so this just goes on. Do they just sit on the side? It like prettiness? Do they just clip on and sit there? I don't know how this works. Well, it kind of says it wants to fit, but it doesn't seem to want to fit. What is that? How does this work now? Got a little sort of C-shaped section here that's supposed to clip onto the thing, but it seems a bit wider. Oh, there you go. There you go. Almost. Get on. Get on. Goes there. Ooh. Okay, that makes sense. Comes right off, but that's fine. I can glue that. Time for some gluing. Let's do some gluing. Glue things together. Lewis will be seeing stars in a moment. Grumble, grumble, mutter, mutter. Says Andy McLeish. Lewis says it will make Nat disappear if I ask it. I thought the replicator was a Stargate thing too. Replicators in Stargate are actual enemies. They're little robots that replicate themselves. Well remembered. SG-1, best series ever made. Replicators in Star Trek are devices used to create things like it's like a. Tell it you want big bowl full of meat, it'll make them. Replicators in Stargate are little artificial life forms that replicate themselves, and they destroy everything in their path. And they're bad. They're bad guys, basically. Stargate SG-1 never was a better series ever made. Not ever. Nothing is better than Stargate SG-1. Sorry, but there isn't. There's no second. There's no second bets with that. And the thing is, even if they were to relaunch Stargate now, they won't. MGM are rubbish. They don't know what a goldmine they've got on their hands. Even if they were to redo Stargate now and reboot it, or even do like a series that follows on after Stargate SG-1, it wouldn't be the same, because it wouldn't have Jack O'Neill and Daniel Jackson and Teal'c and Sam. It wouldn't be the same. Would not be the same. Unless, of course, they get what's-his-face in it. That would be acceptable. What's his name? The annoying scientist from Atlantis. I've forgotten his name. What was his name? Annoying scientist. He was the best character in that entire series. What was his name? Canadian. He's allergic to lemons. What was his name? I forgot his name. Oh, god damn it. Somebody put it in chat. Put me out of my misery. Mackay, that's it. Mackay. Yeah, Mackay. Rodney Mackay, that's it. Rodney Mackay. I actually follow that actor on Twitter. Twitter? No. On YouTube. I follow him on YouTube. He's got a YouTube channel, the actor whose name I can't remember. And he's really cool, really funny guy. He's a real proponent of bringing Stargate back. They won't. MGM are too incompetent to even think about doing that. Sadly. I mean, they did that web series. They did that little crappy web series to try and see if there'd be interest. Unfortunately, the web series was garbage. So, of course, there's no interest because the web series was actual hot garbage. I mean, they had a few nice little touches in there, but it was still just hot garbage. It was not good. Hot garbage! It wasn't to Reborn. It wasn't really a reboot. It was just it was like a prequel, little short prequel story, but yeah. And then they had what's his face, the movie producer, who made the original Stargate movie, saying it was supposed to be originally a trilogy, and he wanted to kind of reboot it to finish the trilogy and redo Stargate, the movie Stargate. And it's like, no, because although the movie's good, what people love is SG-1 and that franchise. Because he was saying he wants to ignore the fact that the TV property ever existed and just do a new movie that carries on the trilogy that was supposed to be the movie. And it's like, you can't, no, because the one that made all the money was the TV series. The movie was good, the TV series was better. You can't ignore that fact, Daniel Emmerich, or whatever his name is. I'm going to get told off by Dad because I've got the wrong glue in the wrong thing. Sorry, Dad. There. Don't get Fox out on Babylon 5, you'll lose him for 2 hours. No, you won't, because I couldn't stand Babylon 5. I had no interest in it at all. It was terrible. I had no interest in it. Because, like, you know, Star Trek was great, Next Generation and stuff, and DS9. DS9 was my favourite. Stargate was brilliant because it was characters. Babylon 5 was just some pretty actors to me. It didn't work for me at all, Babylon 5. I've got no interest in Babylon 5 at all. Does nothing for me, darling, I'm afraid. What happened to online game of... I will watch SG-1 over and over and over again. It'll never get old. I've got the entire box set. Unfortunately on DVD. Not on Blu-ray, but I've got the entire box set. It's like boxes that I've got 4 big packs of DVDs that thick. It's massive. I tend to watch like the entire box set once every couple of years. Because if you watch it too frequently, then you go, oh, this is the one where this happens and it's not that great and I might just skip this episode. Whereas if you give it a couple of years, you kind of forget what happens in some of them. I've put that ladder there, but now I can't get this thing on because the ladder's in the way. That wasn't well thought out, was it? I put the ladder where Games Workshop told me, and you can't fit this on. Well, that's just nonsense. I put the ladder where you told me to, you spoons. Oh, sorry, knocking the camera. My apologies. You can't put this plate where it's supposed to go because the ladder's in the way, but I've put the ladder where they told you to put the ladder. Oh, can you? A pinch. Okay, you can just about get it on. Get it on. Tenuous at best, I think that. Yeah, I don't like that. I'm going to put it somewhere else. I'm going to put it somewhere else just to be awkward. Raging Bassist, I would say it's a Jurassic Park reference, but that wouldn't be correct. What about the new Battlestar Galactica? You mean the 2001 reboot? Yeah, I like that. It was good. If you go back and watch the original 1970s Battlestar Galactica, it's actually garbage. It's terrible. It is. It's just... It has not aged well, but it's got a certain charm to it. But yeah, the reboot, the 2001 reboot, it was a great series. I know they ended it badly and stuff because they had no choice. They had to. It was getting cancelled and they had to just finish it. But that was good. That was good stuff, that. Oh, breakage. Oh, that'll need to be fixed. Give me these little dangly chains. And I wonder why they snap off. Yes. I'll check chat in a minute when I can see it, because I can't actually see chat right now. Diddly bomb, super match game. Yeah, super match game. There we go. It's not in the right place according to the leg end, but I don't care. Because I can't fit it where it's supposed to go because they had me put a ladder there instead. So there you go. There's actually a Mobius kit of the Raptor, you know, the little shuttlecrafty thing from BSG. And I am tempted to get that because it's a nice little ship, but again, it's the whole thing about Mobius decals. I don't think it has any markings or many markings on it though, so. The old BSG is bad, but Battlestar 1980, which of course doesn't exist, is even worse. Yeah, we don't discuss Battlestar 1980. Those damn motorbikes. Ugh. 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 Also, we can't have the original actors, so here is two other characters you never heard of. Andy McLeese says, Rigel, that small stuck-up fart bag. I guess we're talking about Farscape. Farscape's great. Perry Singer says, hi. Hi, Perry Singer. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to Modelling Stream, where we're talking about sci-fi TV. We're talking about... Mandalorian was good. So good, I can't wait for Season 2. Mandalorian was fantastic. It actually gives me hope for this Obi-Wan Kenobi series they're doing with what's-his-name, Ewan McGregor. Which, potentially, if they do it as well as they did The Mandalorian, we could be in for good times. We might not be, but we might be. You never know. I hated Box Lightner. I far preferred Sinclair, but Iondo and Jakar were the best double acts on TV. Is this a Babylon 5 thing I don't know about? I don't know. I watched a few episodes and found it thoroughly not interesting. Because you know what? I see your Jakar and Iondo or whatever, and I raise you Garak and Bashir. Or Bashir and O'Brien. Garak and Bashir. Yeah, Garak and Bashir. There you go. That's some good stuff. Not really lined up very well, but it'll do. Garak was a brilliant character. Or, even more, Quark and Odo. Oh, there is a double act. My favourite characters of all time has to be Odo. There's René Auberjonois. Rest his soul, was a fantastic actor in that role. He did a fantastic job. People, OCD people are going nuts now because that's not exactly lined up 100% on the holes, but I don't really care. What's this one now? We need that one. Of these, I'm just putting these on randomly now because I've kind of transgressed away from the actual proper placement of things. Doesn't really matter. Breakage live on TV, folks. Yes, there was a slight snappage. I'd glue it back on, but to be perfectly honest, it's just going to snap off again. It's one of those things that probably isn't going to last more than 5 minutes. It's a bit like the aerials on the back of Tempestus Scion backpacks. Yeah, most of my Scions don't have that aerial because it didn't last long enough to survive. Yeah, a lot of my Tempestus Scions do not have that aerial. I question the ethics of putting fiddly delicate things on tabletop miniatures. It seems like not the best idea. I shall get back to chat in a second, folks. Bear with me. Apologies as well if this is in a really bad place and you can't see it. I'm struggling to deal with this puppy on the desk. This goes there. I'm not gluing on the dangly skull thing. I've got that separate because I want to paint that separately, I think. Just for obvious purposes. I'm sick of switching between these two glues though. Common sense says I'd use the fat glue on everything first and then go back and do the thin afterwards, rather than piece after piece, but I don't do common sense because I'm idiot. I is idiot. There we are. I are idiot. Lovely. That goes there. And then, of course, only in the Imperium Man would you have a railing that goes that far and then stops. I'm safe. I'm safe. Ah. Yeah. You got to love the Imperium of Man. Just. Yeah. Bless him. God bless him and all who sail in him. Another one here that won't go where it's supposed to because there's a ladder in the way, but that's where they told me to put the ladder. Is that on properly? Yes. It's a bit loose, that one. Not for long. Not for long. It's going to be interesting to paint this, given its size. Let's paint it on camera is going to be challenging. I wouldn't have doing it on a live stream. How am I going to paint this with the camera? I don't know how I'm going to do this one. If I'm filming it. I may have to film something slightly smaller. When I do the painting of all this Warhammer Conquest stuff, by the way, I've said it before, but what I'm going to do is, rather than paint have 100 videos on how to paint Space Marines, I'll just paint one of each. So I'll paint a bog standard Primaris Marine. Here's how I'm going to paint it. And then you can assume the rest are all painted the same way. And I'll paint the individual characters, but you know, if I paint, say, a Plague Marine, I'm not going to do every single different Plague Marine because they're all the same. So I'll just do painting a Plague Marine, painting a whatever. Take it from there. Right. Got. So I don't know what these are. I've got two little plates here that don't seem to go anywhere. I guess they slot into... Oh, I see one of these things. Perhaps they can slot onto... Do they fit on those? I don't know. No. They fit onto one of these? No. I guess these fit somewhere, but I'm not quite sure where. I'll figure it out. Oh, I see. It goes into that. Or that. Okay, well that could be alright. Maybe these are for something else or to join. You could use that to join two plates together, like that plate and that plate side by side. You could use that as a joining piece. That would make sense. I don't think we need them for the moment, so I'll put them to one side. I have one little doobie-doo left over, which can go there. Goes here, you see, on this side here. Then I shall have a look at the chat. Perry Singer says hi. Hi, Perry Singer. I think we said hello already. Anybody who's watching and isn't in the chat, do come and join the chat. We're going to be finishing soon, but do come and join the chat and say hello. As it usually helps break the ice. Where's everybody from? Where is everybody today? Where are you in your lockdown hell? Where are you at the moment? I'm in Cheshire. We all know that. But it always helps break the ice. You can say where you are in the world. You can say I'm in the living room. You could say I'm on the toilet. You could say I'm in space. Doesn't really matter. Just a way to get the lurkers out into the chat, even though we are finishing shortly. I like it when people join the chat. Because at the end of the day, just watching me build something is not that interesting. And even if you find what I say interesting, which is highly unlikely, you can't just sit there for 3 hours and just watch me build something and waffle about donuts and burgers and stuff. So you can interact with the chat at the same time, and it just makes it jolly fun. You're hanging out with your friends. Prime example of that is when we were all watching Chris's stream the other day in chat, having a great old time in chat. Bless us, none of us were actually paying attention to what Chris was doing. I do apologise about that, Chris. We're all like, wait, what's Chris building? What we're doing? Because we're having a fine old time in chat. Right, that is, aside from them, which we don't need. There you go. They can go there, you see. They can do crossover bits. Well, I'll leave them. Shall I stick them on? It might help. In fact, it does actually say... Does it say to put those on? It doesn't actually say to put them on anywhere. But... Okay, this is weird. I know you can't see it, but... It doesn't say to add those little parts, but it shows them here on the instructions. So... Go figure. Thanks, G-Dubs. Really helpful. And that seems to be the only place, either there or there. I could put them there. I'm going to put them here to reinforce this really shonky joint. That might be a better idea. That would be a fantastic idea. Let me do that now. It doesn't actually show them being put anywhere, but I shall put them somewhere. Making a decision for myself. Never going to end well. Trust me on this. That can go there. Kaplunk. Mousetrap. This can go on this side here, you see. So I'm just slapping some glue on. What am I doing, Ted?
Slap it on.
Yeah, I'm just slapping some glue on, putting that on there, and then get some extra thins to do the proper job. I shall check the chat in a moment, dear peeps. We're on 5:47, not bad. Just finished just before 6 o'clock. It's time to go make some noms. And I've pretty much done. Yay! I've still got to do the Alchomite Pipes. So I might do one more stream when we do those. Splonk some glue under here. I do like the fact all this scenery is so modular. If it wasn't for the chore of actually having to build some of it. Or rather, I don't mind building it, it's the cleanup that does me no favours. But when you go to, if you go to Warhammer World and you see the that massive diorama they've got, the Radon, whatever it was called, with the 8 bajillion Imperial troops and the 20 bajillion other things and all the buildings, and it's like 18 feet high, this big stacked up building that goes up for like 12, 13, 14 feet. It's just this kind of scenery all stacked up, like chunks of buildings and these kind of things stacked up to make these massive towering structures. So you can get this stuff and make massive dioramas if you wanted to really build it up. Cool. So that's that done. I'll move that over there for a second. We'll have a quick look at chat. Right, so where are we? Yes, I agree with Fox. I don't know what I said, but I was obviously right. Clearly, I was right. I had a thing for Zan, says Reborn, didn't we all? Apparently she got really ill after that series because of all the blue stuffed paint she wore. It killed her kidney. And she was very ill afterwards. Because I think because of wearing all the paint she had. She wasn't completely painted, she had some areas of skin exposed, but it did a lot of damage to her immune system or something, I think. I could be wrong. Let's have a look. Perry Singer says, hi, that big model. This is the if you're asking what that big model is, it's the Magnavent Walkway. It's for Warhammer. It's the last two issues, issues 79 and 80 of the Warhammer Conquest partwork. It's just a bit of scenery, a little bit of scenery that you would have on your Warhammer play table. Move your figures around. But it's the last two issues, so I thought I'd get it built. There's only another 78 issues of models to make. Mandalorian is lit for season 3. Cool, we've not even had season 2 yet. Another stream I've missed. Sorry, Fox, says Beyond Hope. No problem at all, mate. You came in at the end. That's absolutely fine. That's a big, cool model, says Perry Singer. Yes. But yeah, it's the last two issues. It's just some scenery parts. It's if you're not familiar what this is, it's the Hachette's Warhammer Conquest part, which is 80 issues. In each issue, you get a load of models to make up two armies: Space Marine army and Death Guard army. And you can fight with your mates. It's a tabletop war game basically. And this is just a little bit of scenery. It's probably the biggest thing you've built. I've got to find somewhere to put this, and I've not even finished it yet. Where are we? Are you going to paint the next stream? No. With these Warhammer Conquest ones, it is all building at the moment. I say I've got 80 issues worth of stuff to build. I want to get them all built because when I do the painting for these Warhammer Conquest pieces, I'm going to be filming them properly, doing proper painting videos, which I have to go paint and film properly. I don't tend to do a lot of painting on live streams purely because I tend to film the paint jobs. So our live streams at the moment are building the Warhammer Conquest stuff, just because I've got a load of it to build and I need to get it done. So, but the next stream I've got to build the bit that goes in the middle, the tubes and pipes. I'll do that on the next one. On Saturday I am playing Skyrim again because I do a Saturday live stream where I play Skyrim. Sunday I'll be back to Warhammer Conquest, but I'm not building. I won't be working on this. I'll be building again though. And then eventually, like I say, I will get all the Warhammer Conquest stuff built, and then I'll be able to start painting it. Andy McLeish says Nurgles have feelings too. Perry Singer says London Walthamstow. Oh yeah, because that's where you all were. Yep. Hello, welcome to Perry from London, from Walthamstow. What? Andy McLeish is in the kitchen getting my chef groove on. You mean boiling the water for the pot noodle? Wendy H is in hearts. Hey Wendy. See, the people that don't normally chat, they come in at this point and they say hello. So it's nice to get people to come in. It's like a little bit of bait to lure the fish, but all I'm saying is hello. I'm not going to eat them. Raging Bass is Winsford in Cheshire. Winsford near Eccles. Fords of Winsford. Yeah. Some of you knew this already. Ian Thompson says living room. Cool. Athol says afternoon or early evening, including Foxy Cheshire. I'm in Foxy in Cheshire. I'm on my balcony, 120 feet up off the ground. Hopefully there's a building attached to the balcony, not just floating 120 feet in the air, because that'd be cool but weird. Eon's car is in the living room. Andy McLeish asks Athol if he's skydiving again. You don't have to skydive with the balcony. Rayborn is in Scotland. Chris at Gross Models is used to being ignored. That's because I was saying about we didn't know what he was doing. And Beyond says, oh, hi, Gross Models, didn't see you there. Andy McLeish says, woohoo, the Scottish posse are getting bigger. Are you going to it jumped, hang on. Are you going to airbrush or paint this platform? I'm suspecting when I paint this, it will be airbrush, I think. Just to get the base coat. Well, it'll probably rattle can lead belcher to start with. Probably rattle can it with primer and then lead belcher. Or just lead belcher. For the bare metal and then all the painting on. Because a lot of that's just going to be bare metal. Let's just be honest. So I think it'll be a rattle can of lead belcher and then brush painting all the little bits and bobs and details and painting in other stuff. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'll have months. I'm not going to do the scenery till the very end, so that'll be a couple of years yet. Marble Madness is Andy McLeish. Reborn says, yes, we'll outnumber them one day, Andy, about being Scottish. Or rather, Scottish viewers. Hi, Dad and Andy the Stalwarts. Yeah, food time, says Perry Singer. I'm starving. Jokes. Not sure what chat's talking about. Athelman Nichols says steak, ale, and mash for the belly tonight. Oh. Dad says, did you do Andy? Did you do that though? Don't he? Did you do that? Don't do duvets though, but did you do that? I'm heading off to bed because of work, says Nim. Take care, Nim. Sleep well. I'm going in a minute. I'm off to make some lunch and watch a movie or something, says Paul Di Tommaso. Thanks for coming in, Paul. Hope you feel better soon. And I think that's up to date on chat. So I think we're done. 17:55. This puppy is Gebilton Gefarten. I think next time, because I've got the sprue here, we've got the Alchomite Pipes, which is just a small pipe tube thing that goes. That won't take too long. Get that in the middle. And then that's done. So we'll get that done next time. Don't know when that'll be, because tomorrow is Friday. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. Do. Littlest hobo just popped in there for no reason. Maybe tomorrow, as long as nobody else is doing some streaming. Don't forget, Saturday, of course, is Skyrim Saturday, and Sunday will be Warhammer Sunday, and we're back on Monday for the E-Model show. Don't forget, tonight, of course, over on Chris's channel, Gross Models. Oh, that's a part. I'll be working on this tonight. Gross Models. He's in the chat. You love him. He's only a little furry chat, but you like his channel. He's doing his hangout with Gross and the gang on his channel tonight at 8 o'clock. I think 8 PM. Tell me if I'm wrong, Chris. I don't know if it's open to all his patrons or open to everybody in the universe, but I'm hoping I can pop along if I'm able to, where he opens up a hangout to followers and other things and viewers and stuff. So do go and check that out. 8 PM to correct me if I'm wrong, Chris. 8 PM tonight on the Gross Models channel, the evening hangout. So I'll crack on with that. I might crack on with this during that. I normally get more done on Chris's hangout stream than I do on my own streams. So there you go. It's big, isn't it? It looks bigger on telly. It looks huge on camera. I can see it from here, but there's my hand for scale. Yes. Let me find a Space Marine. There's a Space Marine for scale. Roll D6. Fell off. Dead. Never mind. My Space Marines will be inept at the best of times. But that's going to do us for today, I think. So thank you very much for watching, if you have been. Like I say, don't forget, join Chris's, go and watch Chris's stream tonight. Go and make your dinner. I'm ravenous now. I need to eat all the food. Whatever I make tonight now with the pale, it's going to be quick. I like microwave bag of rice because I don't want to wait. I need to eat now. Just going to be like, bang it in the microwave for 5 minutes. But yes, take care of yourselves. Thank you very much for watching. Do make sure that you stay safe. I'm just quickly checking something. Do make sure that you stay safe. If you don't need to go out, don't go out. Wash your damn hands. Wash your damn hands. Remember, soap and water kills the chocolate velociraptor. And we shall meet all here again soon. But I'll probably see you again later on tonight in Chris's stream, either in the chat or in the video. We'll see. But take care. Go make something awesome like this. Go be awesome. And until next time, I shall say...
Slap it on.
Well, Ted will say that. And I shall say, take care. Go be safe. Adios, amoebas.